Lift off here on Racing Post Live this Saturday. Afternoon delight. Dave Orton back with you for some Sterling action. Now, there's a little bit of lull when I was away last week. Ross Biley, sterling effort in the seat. No Group 1 action. Don't you worry about that. Not 3:35. It's usually the feature race on a Saturday. 3:30 from Haydock. Are there any men standing still at Haydock? If you are there for the big Betfair day, let us know. Non-runners are plenty. That won't stop us. Having loads of fun here this afternoon. Myself, Dave Orton, as I said, thrilled to be back with you. This is an interactive show. Like and subscribe if you want to get involved, have your shout-outs. You can do that. We've got a great community out there. All our regulars are there waiting for us. If you're new, say hello. Let us know where you are watching from. Currently on the planet, we'll be popping to Ascot as well, and Kempton on the Poly track too. No worries about runners there, some really competitive stuff. Who wins the Haydock Betfair Sprint Cup at 3:30? This programme is, of course, in association with Betfair. There's all the graphics if you're new to it. The real market on the screen. But what you really want to know from me is who is along with us today. I'm delighted to say the talking form, but we gave her August off. It was wedding season, Kate Tracey.
Every single weekend, if not twice. Yeah, my voice hasn't fully recovered, I don't think.
Well, sweet Carolining.
So many sweet, honestly, word for word, every arm movement, all the claps in the right place for the song. Yeah, a lot of weddings. Good fun, but happy to be back.
Thrilled to see September as our Kate, and it's absolutely lovely to have you here. Are you, you have obviously come into the office and said, where are the runners at Haydock? Mm-hmm. They're all dropping like flies. Yeah,
that's it. Every time I go back in to look at the races today, there's even more non-runners. And then I came in to see you and you were updating me on even further ones. And it's all for different reasons. And yes, I'm just trying to keep tabs on what's actually turning up today at Haydock.
Yeah, we're trying to turn it heavy in the studio, but it hasn't stopped Rodway from turning up. Of course, he's back. And I bet you're thrilled to see me. This is in person with us, the first time in a little while. I'm thrilled to see you.
Yeah, I actually said to the missus this morning, I haven't seen Dave Orton for 6 weeks. It's a shame that he's back, isn't it?
You had Ross Briley, of course, last weekend.
Yeah, it was nice about him.
Has he dug you out about your Baid comments yet or not? You've been let off on that one,
Not yet. No, I did concede defeat, though. I did concede defeat that I don't now think that Desert Crown would have beaten Baid.
Well, every man, can take it on the chin sometimes. Yeah.
Well, he was very, very good at York, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We can go on to that later because
you wanted to hold the form down a bit, didn't you?
There's a horse running later, isn't there, that finished behind him. They got a ridiculously high Racing Post rating last time.
Yeah, in the September Stakes at Kempton, that's Dubai, of course. He'll be a warm one to take that out. And joining us back in the studio because Bazza, the big hitter himself, has gone to the big Betfair day. That means his able deputy, Marc Hryhoskyi, joins us, the pilot himself, looking resplendent in black. Ready to go, Marcus?
Yeah, good to go. Obviously, the gaffer's up at Haydock today. We've got Ascot, Haydock and Kempton. Obviously, we sponsor the feature race, Old Burr Cup and the Betfair Sprint Cup. Minzal and Naval Crown lead the betting there. But there's one that actually like at a big price there that will reveal later on. But looking forward to it.
We've got lovely interactive chat coming up as well. I see Paul Bakewell, one of our usual, says, "Hi everyone. Don't know if it's a new phone or if Dave Orton sounds louder." It's what holiday will do to a person. Full of beans, Paul, out there, cooking away with your good self. You can't keep me down, that's for sure. Right. Where are we going, you'll be asking yourself. We're 10 minutes away from the Ascendant Stakes, the 2-year-old race. Then we'll get a good idea of what's going on up at St Helens, won't we, in Haydock? They were expecting rain, guys, weren't they, up there? We haven't seen a race yet. I haven't really been watching much of the punditry so far. Has anyone seen anything up there? Is it Heavens Open stuff or what?
Not that I've seen, anyway.
That was a hot potato thing.
Well, yeah.
A lot of non-runners, anyway.
Why?
Yeah.
Could be ground factor.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to do some housekeeping. Look at the BHA website.
Yeah, I don't know, Dave. It's all fairly dull, isn't it, when you get lots of trainers pulling out their horses, complaining about ground, isn't it?
It's taken you T-2 minutes.
What, to moan about trainers?
To have a little plop.
Well, I mean, they're horses, aren't they? They're bred to run. Are they not?
Yes.
They're horse races. They're race horses.
Let's talk about the big non-runners. Solcombe, obviously, being one in the mini Old Borough Cup. We've got that coming up for you at 3 o'clock. Can't wait for that.
Very impressive last time out. Surprised at Coolix with the weight for age.
We won't know how we would have fared, of course. Haggis has got another horse in there called Tamilla, hasn't he? Which is interesting. And, of course, Reach for the Moon and Bayside Boy out of our second race. Reach for the Moon would have been a juicy lay.
Probably one I want to take on, but we'll get to that later on.
Is there any housekeeping, Marc, while I'm looking for wild and non-runners?
Yeah, we'll do is I'll get the Lucky 15 on. I've also got for charity. I'll put that on first. Obviously, we want to take advantage of the extra places on offer on the Betfair Sportsbook. First selection, we've got Temporize in the 220 Haydock, 4 places instead of free. The 220 Kempton, we've got Moon Island, 4 places instead of free. And the 255, we've got Golden Flame. This one's been well supported. It was double figure prices on the Betfair Sportsbook early into 6-1, 4 places instead of free. And to wrap it up for the big one, the 330, we're going to take Brad the Brief for Hugo Palmer at 16-1, 5 places instead of free. £1 each way pays, I think this will probably pay quite a lot, so like £1 each way pays £121,873. So fingers crossed on that front. So that bet's on, each way lucky 15.
He loves a big price, does Hryhoskyi. He's trying to make a name for himself there, aren't you, man?
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, absolutely. The multi's on the move, hopefully there. Then there you go then. If you're new to the show, we advocate safe gambling here on the Racing Post and Betfair as well. The reason being, we've got 9 races to show you today. We'll whittle through. It's not just a sprint cup that's going to be fast and furious. We're going to be frantic in here as well. Real-time analysis, basically. If you want to know where your money went, this is the place to be this afternoon. And, of course, you can get involved. Let us know. It's what it's all about. You make the show. You know that. If you want to get involved, then Marc's Temporize for Johnson's, Moon Island, who's a big price in the 240. Golden Flame, Paul Keeling in his Saturday Scissors has put that up, hasn't he? And Brad the Brief, very interesting. Very interesting indeed, Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because he's in stall 15, which is, of course, near a stand side in the sprint, and a lot of the pace, to many pundits' eyes, looks to be low. So if you've got high drawn runner, which I have actually, put my hand up for one, I'm going to tell you who it is yet. I'm hoping that Brad the Brief is key for me. It's not Brad the Brief, by the way. Does anyone have a real strong one today? Another hot potato cake.
The strong one is probably me taking it a bit too far. Sort of in my Betfair column today, I had the 3 bets then. So I think Baldemero was probably the best
cheeky.
of which.
I know, good all-weather
Absolutely.
judges put that up.
Oh, really? Go on then.
Yourself included.
Oh, yeah, I was going to
The
say.
King of the Sand has put that up today, Dave Bellingham.
Has he?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that Barry Orr's brother?
Who, the King of the...
No, Tommy Orr.
Oh, Tommy Orr joins us back and opens the show. The producer in my ear to get this out of the way as well. Tommy, welcome. Thank you for opening the show. It's not.
It's not.
Well,
Barry
Barry protests it's not.
Right, okay.
But there are quite a few oars out there, a few riding as well, aren't there? Sheens, etc. Naval Power should win this race. I'm going for Lion of War. Yeah, interesting run-up, and we'll get to that as well, because he wasn't seen to best effect on the July course, was he? Behind a couple of decent horses.
He was absolutely rubbish that day. Do you
Isaac
remember?
Shelby race, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh, he was awful. I don't really know why. I think,
Tactics.
were we here? Were we in here?
We were.
Yeah, and we thought he was going to make all, and they
You
jumped
did.
off at the back. Yeah, bizarre change of tactics. So one of those ones that frustrates me, doesn't it, Dave? We had this discussion a lot, don't we, about how you and I think, both agree that if you're going to have if you're a trainer and you want to change tactics, you should tell everyone first.
The Australian way of doing it.
Yeah, the Australian. Like we had this with All Mankind, didn't we? Early in the season at Aintree.
Yeah.
When, he usually goes out and blasts off, and then
yeah.
they jumped off in last.
Every single one is one you've backed.
They did it with Energumin. Remember in the Champion Chase? He used to front run, be up there, and then all of a sudden changed to the hold
It's
up.
hard to remember that sort of stuff. There's a whiff of jumpers in the air now, isn't there?
Exciting,
It's a whiff.
isn't it? Yeah.
It is exciting, whatever you say about it. But here we are in September. We're now on the helter-skelter. The end of the British flat season is coming up. We've got Irish Champions Day, of course, next Saturday. It's going to be joining the party here with us on RPL. We will also be doing the Classic Ledger. Doncaster next week as well. So, look, I think that the narrative ending up to Champions Day now is unrivalled, wherever we are. Each Saturday, you've got a couple of, Doncasters thrown in there as well, Future Champions Day. There's always something to really get excited about. And this is where we sort our pecking order with the 2-year-olds now, isn't it, as well? Happy days.
Yes. Oh, completely, properly, like I say. And I mean, the 2-year-old division this season has just been brilliant, I think. I know there's been sort of a lot of debate about it recently and on social media and such like as well. And the Ballydor contingency, of course.
What's that about this week?
What, 2 Ascot runners?
Sorry?
Them having 2 runners at Ascot.
No. Did that kick off as well, did
That
it?
was weird, wasn't it? Well, I just thought it was really strange.
Well,
yesterday.
I
They
can
had
think
2
of the
newcomers.
reasoning.
He doesn't
why.
tend to have
Never
2-year-old
got to the bottom
outside
of
of group
why.
races winners here. He's almost
Go to Ascot for
takes
being
over these sighters, doesn't he? It's weird.
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's got to do with lack of opportunities in Ireland, I'd imagine. But
Do you think?
Yeah, I can get to the bottom
yeah.
of it. I can come to a theory of that, of why he sent over those couple then for.
Anyway, well, listen, we're getting revved up now. You can tell that we're very, very excited, of course, for the end of the flat season. Absolutely right. Does Bide go Arc? Does he go Champions Day? That's the one that we're going to soon find out. Of course, we know probably not Ireland now. So I don't know. The fact they're not going Irish Champions Day, because all the noise would have been about that next weekend. Looks like he might be turning up in the Arc all of a sudden. Who knew at the start of the year? Maybe the panel here. Clowns, we were called. Anyway, all right, who's going to win this race, Mark? Let's get that underway.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate we've not got the 8 runners here for the each way angle. Naval Power strong, 1.35 on the Betfair Exchange right now, 3 from 3. I think he got the run of the race last time out. Second favourite on Marc Johnson's Finn's Charm. I don't think ran its race. I'm not so sure about the form of Holloway Bay and the Chesham either. But the one I like at the prices, and it's probably a bit weak now, but it's Dancing Magic. Roger Teals, Kieran Schumacher. It was green on debut, shorter room late on. Looked to like the winner at Newbury. Got picked up late by Owen Burrows' Tarja. Traded 108 and running on the Betfair Exchange, so around 12's on. Bresson, the horse that you like, and Classic, 3rd and 4th that day. They won next time out. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the capabilities on the Betfair Exchange. Obviously, Naval Power looks difficult to beat, and we don't have the free place on offer. So what we're going to do is we're going to back Dancing Magic in the free place market at 2.4. So just below 6 to 4, around 11 to 8, £25 win. I'll win us £35 profit if we can grab 3rd in the top 3 here. I think that's value. And I think Naval Power looks difficult to beat. I think Seeing Goal's quite short. I don't think the Yarmouth form is that great. Modern Dancer actually jumped the path that day as well. So too short for me. I think the value is with Dancing Magic. So that bet's on £25 to win 35.
Naval Power, then. These Godolphin 2-year-olds pretty much been holding all before them. Whatever the races they're going on this show, they always seem to be short. They tend to win. He's 3 from 3. I remember him winning at Ascot when we came off air. We went down to the Thirsty Bear for our post-match nutrition. And we saw him win there. Kate, are you just expecting him to win this, and then we'll look for some sexy quotes?
Yeah, I'd say so. Royal Lodge sort of type you'd be looking at then after this, really, wouldn't you? Up into a Group 2 after.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already proven himself in listed company. Listed then again here. Of course, he has to carry the penalty then for that, but really, in the context of this race, it couldn't have been asked for a better chance to make it 4 from 4 now, really. William Buick, of course, with the runners that Godolphin ascending down to Ascot later on, it's notable. Of course, he's going to be at the main event, but this lad would have dictated that to a large extent anyway, I would have said. So, yeah, I am. I'm expecting him to win. As Mark said, it's sort of frustrating with the each-way angle in here, because I do like Seeking Gold. And Mark's right as well, that the horse that he beat, the Godolphin horse, on that most recent start, who obviously was penalised for his debut in, was still showing signs of greenness, as we tend to expect at Yarmouth with the path. But even so, I still think that Seeking Gold has much more to come anyway. So he was, as boring as it is, the likely forecast angle then for me, as the betting would have it.
Yeah, well, lots of people would be looking for different ways to play this race, G, won't there? Is there an in-running angle because there's some sort of exotic bet here, or...?
No, not really. It's the second week in a row that we've had a race where live on ITV with a very, very short price favourite.
They do seem to be picking out some interesting races, don't they? Obviously, this is a pattern class race, but we've had novice races.
The Cellar last week.
The Cellar.
Well, that was a really good race the year before, so I'm happy they actually kept that Cellar in.
Well, there you are. All right. Well, look, they're cramming it in. That's for sure.
Is it they had Who You Mail, didn't they, last week?
The Four's on shot. Yeah, but that was a a proper race on paper, wasn't it? So.
No.
Well, title-wise is what I mean. It's a prestigious race.
Yeah, I suppose. What was I going to say? This ought to just win, won't it? Just looking at the class paths for listed race, novice race, you're looking at 106 RPR. So only ran to 108 last time. So he's already £2 better than your average listed winner.
Highest mark in this in the last 10 years is a horse called Fancy Man, who most of you remember, Hannon's horse. That was in 2020. That got 108. There's a very, very good horse won this in 2019. Can you think who it was?
Oh,
He's going for the Arc. Come on, G.
not bloody pile driver.
Here we go.
Yes, it is Pile Driver, who's quickly become your horse somehow.
I have a habit of attracting.
Okay, we're in. Good luck. See if we can see another Pile Driver in this. Away we go. Has one walked out the stalls there, or are we okay?
He's sweated up badly, this favourite, hasn't he?
Okay, yeah, he's got lathered with sweat. Now, what you wanted to see at Newmarket last time, if you were on Line of War, it didn't happen. They now know this is a stretch on rangy 2-year-old, and he's going to give a lead to Naval Power. He's got a lovely sit on the inside under William Buick. Once again, he's just having that incredible time. No Oshie Murphy around in the saddle for him to contest at the moment. He seems to be getting the 5-timers, doesn't he? Dancing Magic, marked up by Hryhoskyi as being backed by some proper faces in the last couple. Now, Seeking Gold's a little bit lit up in the midfield as well. Nothing too bad. Captain Winters, of course, of Team Ryan, who won this last year with triple time. We're going to see him in the next race. And out the back, the outside of the lot, Dark 30. Kate, what's catching your eye?
Well, I mean, dictating on the front end there, Line of War is just starting to hang off the track there a bit.
It's a horrible bend, though, isn't it?
It is. It's a super tight bend there, but at Haydock, on the front end of a pace, is always the place to be, regardless of ground conditions there. So dictating matters, but the favourite is cruising there in behind for all that he had lathered up on his neck, as you say, with the sweat.
How big's he gone, Mark, so far? Is it all just like, listen, I can't get enough on?
It's not really moved. The one it is showing up is Line of War. That's short, 5-1 and running now, around 7-2. Favourites on the drift, even money now. Favourites Line of War and running now.
Yeah, Kieran Schumacher is basically trying to keep this favourite in. I'll tell you what, he's not really got. I'll tell you what, this is in trouble, guys.
Favourites in trouble.
Yeah.
This looks sunk, doesn't it? Seeking Gold on the outside. Dancing Magic is coming. Now the favourite's got a gap. Buick's getting him through. He's not panicking, Buick. Is he going to get there? I'll tell you what, this is animal.
Come on, Kieran.
Get there.
Looks like Dancing to Win's going to be the danger.
He's taking his time.
Dancing Magic, I should take
there you
now.
go.
This is
Keep
it.
going
Didn't
away.
go for the win.
1-1.
Good.
That was a bit of a threat if you've taken the odds on there.
Yeah.
He baits Dancing Magic. Roger Till's also won a really nice race. Looks like a smart handicapper in the making. And running on all too late. Horse next year, maybe. Captain Winters for Team Ryan. Right, Mark, dissect that, the story of the market, please.
Yeah, Naval Power did look in trouble 2-3 out. Only went as big as 8.6 for around £26. I thought it might have looked a bit bigger. I think Kieran Fallon gave Line of War a really good ride from the front. I mean, that one's not even finished in the top 4. That's went as low as even money for £842. Considering what the BSP was of the winner, 1.34. Dancing Magic, the eventual second, that one's went as low as, went odds on, 2's on and running. It was a good ride by Kieran Schumacher. Just keeps bumping into one, but definitely one to keep in the notebook. You'd expect it breaking its maiden tag soon enough, Dancing Magic.
Have we seen a Pile Driver there, Graeme, Rodway?
Looked pretty slow, didn't he? I thought it was slow motion stuff, really, and he stayed on really well. Looks like he'll stay well, don't he, next season? It'd be interesting to see whether Matt Gardner, our 2-year-old handicapper, has him any higher than 108 that he gave him last time. I would suspect he won't go any higher than 108 for that. Would you have thought that?
No, probably not. Not when you look at historical RPRs that have won that.
Dancing Magic was second, that's 92 last time out, so it'd be a big improvement for that if you were going to put Naval Power above his best figure. I don't think he's run to his best, but he's just better than them, so he still won.
It's an interesting call, the fact that they ran Dancing Magic there, isn't it? I'll tell you what that makes me think. It makes me think that they just think, well, we're going to bump into a Godolphin horse wherever we go, because with the race post rating, you know, when you finish second in a novice stakes of 93, you ought to be cherry picking your opportunities, right? And here they are. They've gone for the Ascendant Stakes, and they've shown what sort of horse they've got.
Nice horse, and obviously the right face has been on for that one on debut as well. The second time out, it won't be a big price next time out, I'd imagine, in a maiden, but one to keep on the right side of.
You wouldn't be surprised with the Teal team. You remember Tip to Win a couple of years ago? They think big if they've got a biggie, and obviously Group 1 winning trainer, you know.
Yeah, Oxford.
Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So I don't know. Whatever you make of the form, have we got a Guineas quote coming in, Marc Hryhoskyi?
Yeah, I'll get that for you just now. Just bear with me.
Because when you look at his entries for Naval Power, I mean, of course, he's got all of the entries you'd expect: Champagne Stakes, for National Stakes, Royal Lodge, Dewhurst. But I mean, with the embarrassment of riches that they have with the 2-year-olds and the stamina he showed more than the turn of foot there, you would just be thinking Royal Lodge more so, wouldn't you, for the mile? When
he won at Ascot and get that 108 that Graeme is alluding to, he attacked 2 furlongs out, didn't he? That was a big sweeping. This is, you know, if anything, could he get a Breeders' Cup, this horse, do you think? This is the sort of horse they like to take over.
Yeah.
Massar and...
Not sure he'd be quick enough, but
that's the only...
we'll see.
If he's learnt from that,
he
and
did
showed
well
he can
to
do it
win.
around Haydock.
He did well to
That's
win.
what I mean.
He was in a bit of trouble, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was being penned in, like you say.
And he never went for the whip, Buick at all, did he? The Pro Crush was never
always
used.
Comfortable, yeah, throughout.
Interesting to see the sectionals, because I think Kieran Fallon's gave the Line of War a good ride from the front.
Well, that's what you wanted to see from him. He's next year's sort of, I don't know, could he be London Gold Cup type horse? Mile 2, you know, he's that sort of horse, I think.
8 to 1 for the 2,000 guineas, Naval Power.
8 to 1 on the sports for 2,000 guineas. Let's talk about 2,000 guineas because we just mentioned that the 2-year-olds are starting to get themselves in a pecking order now. Again, a lot. I missed all the sort of I don't know, tomatoes from the cheap seats at Maddie's article in the week. Maddie Plough, our very own Maddie Plough, wrote an article saying a muddling season for the O'Brien 2-year-olds. Well, the No Nay Nevers, which no Galileos, I think he's got one more year, isn't he, Galileo? Where are these middle distance horses coming through? She wasn't totally taken by Denmark. Now, you've got to be careful with this because, as Mr. Rodway will well tell you, when you have a go at these pariahs, these, I don't want to call them false gods because Aidan, he's the best in the business, isn't he? But whatever you think about it, we are allowed to have opinions on these things. There was a lot of bluster about all that, wasn't there? I sort of came back and someone showed it to me. What's all that about? Poor Maddie got Rodway tomatoes.
Rodway tomatoes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends who writes these articles as to how people react to them. I think there's certain people who can say what they like and nobody will say a thing like, Ruby Wall can pretty much say what he likes and people will accept what he says because he's Ruby. Now I'm not suggesting that Maddie is Ruby or I am Ruby, but there's definitely depends on who writes the article as to what the what the furore that comes with it.
Have you got the market up for the guineas? Let's talk about next year's 2-year-olds.
2,000 guineas, yeah.
At the minute. Could Naval Power, he'd workman like their guys, wasn't he? And he was at Ascot as well, but this is 4 from 4 now.
Little Big Burley's about at 4 to 1. Just one I quite like.
This is the one that must have been the mustard in the article, was it, Little Big Bear? Because again, people think he's God now, don't they?
Yeah.
Your
second coming, yeah.
Your own boy Alan over jumps, honeysuckles, all that sort of thing. He's got that about him. Now he looked, to my eyes, he looked brilliant, and I thought he was. Whether I agree with Maddie's article or not, it's great that people try and swim against the tide on these things.
The one we've seen the money for is another Aidan O'Brien, whereas Hans Anderson is currently 33 to 1 on the sports book.
Aesop's Fable looked good as well, didn't he? I mean, we'd be picking 3 O'Brien horses here.
But that'd be the one that I would take from Aidan O'Brien. I mean, the right sort of money was for this one.
A lot of people accuse us, Graeme, don't they, of sort of like bowing down to Appleby and Sheikh Mo and all that sort of thing. But Godolphin is it not very good that if racing is going this way with the Premiership, that we've got 2 superpowers that are really going to keep it exciting?
Oh yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? That's like one of the most exciting things about this season, isn't it? Is how strong Godolphin are now, and can like the Dubawi take over from Galileo? Dubawi's still going strong. Of course, Galileo coming to the end of his crops, isn't it? I think he's got 2 more years.
Is
Galileo.
it 1 or 2? I'm not
it's
sure.
Not many, but you would think that, especially the way that Dubawi went and dominated at the Breeders' Cup last year, you would think that he's like the sire that's just going to take on everything, wouldn't you? And of course, Godolphin have got most of them, haven't they?
Yeah.
So, it's a really exciting sort of pretense, isn't it? So this season, next season.
Do you think he's had a muddling season, O'Brien?
I'm
I'm not meaning to call out this article here, by the way. I think it's a good talking point.
Yeah, or generally speaking, because for 2-year-olds, for me, no. For me, they've been unbelievably strong overall from what we tend to expect from them, from their own lofty, high standards, ridiculous standards, probably with their older horses, but for me, not with
the older horses, as you alluded to with Godolphin, Marc coming out last year, you just had to look at the arc. Going into it was Adyar and Hurricane Lane, wasn't it? It was almost a passing of the baton in the middle distance relay, wasn't it? Where do you sit with this?
There's one other one I liked for the 2,000 guineas, Isaac Shelby.
Yeah.
That's the main horse. I'm a fan of his.
Yes, very highly thought of, 25 to 1, best price available on the sports book. So that'd be the 2 that I would take. I think we'd potentially see a boil over in this race, one at a big price. So Hans Anderson 33s, Isaac Shelby 25. That'd be the 2. That's the 2 I've backed anyway.
I think that the 2-year-olds have been very exciting this season.
Yeah.
I said it. I think the hills are alive with the sounds of 2-year-olds, aren't they? A lot of people whacking us with a stick for selling our 3-year-olds, and maybe that division has been horrendous. I was watching some Aussie racing. You'll be surprised to hear this morning, and Surefire. Who remembers him? Beckett's horses. There's loads of horses down there. And I'm like, that's where they've all gone. Of course. We're seeing it now. There was something at the sales last week, wasn't it? I think all the imports are going to Bahrain, Saudi, and then we're way down the list of keeping the horses. It is what it is. 2-year-olds has kept us going. We've never had, always had strong fields. We will always be brilliant on that front, won't we? And I think we need to celebrate our 2-year-olds a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, does the Ballydoyle season not rest really on what Luxembourg does from now on in, really. I mean, if he goes on to be the horse that he looked like he might at the start of the season.
Is he going to run next Saturday?
I think he is going to run in the Champions Stakes, is he?
Yeah.
If he goes on to run there, win, and then goes on to win another big race, then suddenly you turn around and say, oh, yeah, they did all right. They've been some good 2-year-olds. Luxembourg turned out to be brilliant. But if he goes and blows out, then, yeah, you would be turning around saying, well, maybe it was a slightly below par season for them.
We have to remember we've got Aidan O'Brien. Welcome back to the game, Dave. Aidan O'Brien and Coolmore, haven't you? They're almost two completely different entities.
Yeah.
And Coolmore, you get the feeling it's a bit of a changing entity there. All right, we're talking about 2-year-olds. We're celebrating them. We've got, just about another 20 minutes until our next race at Haydock. Then it's going to get fast and furious, guys. Hello, if you're out there, myself, Dave Orton, joined by Kate Tracey, Graeme Rodway and Marc Hryhoskyi in the studio. This is going to be raucous this afternoon. We've already won out Naval Power. Who was with him? Did you get a little bit tetchy? You said he only went as big as 7.5 to 1 on the exchange. I thought that was huge.
Yeah, but I thought he probably went a bit further. I thought Kieran Fallon got the fractions right from the front, but won easy in the end. Dancing Magic done at 2s on. I thought that one would have went shorter.
So we've had a short price 2-year-old win for Godolphin. All looks easy on paper if you're just coming in, but my goodness, he was given a right old spike. This is where you see it. Oh, man, look at our next race at Haydock.
It's badly cut up in the wrong race, isn't it?
Wow, half the field out then. Okay, we'll be getting to that in Triple Time, who won the Ascendant Stakes and hasn't been seen since this weekend last year. They've got massive hopes for him still at the Ryan Yard. I'm laughing because I'm going to go to G-Rod in a minute about that. Naval Power then 3s on, beats Dancing Magic and Captain Winters, fully aforementioned Ryans and Shoko Bade as well. Right, but come on, what do you reckon? Who's the best 2-year-old out there? Who's the real one getting you excited about next year? Do you still bet anti-post? A lot of people don't, but do you still take some of these sportsbook odds about the guineas out there, next year's Derby, all that sort of stuff? They're all coming up, aren't they? Favourite late stage season 2-year-old race?
Oh, it's got to be with Dewhurst, no?
Dewhurst?
It would surely have to be the one that marks the...
You've got straight in there with that. I like that.
Yeah, I wanted to Bagsy it
Slim
first, to be
pickings
honest
now
with
for
you.
the other lads.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it's
I like the
It's the one that
Beresford.
sticks in-
Love the Beresford. Well, some great horses have won the Beresford.
That's coming up, isn't it? A
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
Got the Vertem, the old Racing Post Trophy. That's
Yeah.
a great one.
I'm quite a fan of those 2 races that they have on Arc Day. You know, the
Oh,
Phillies,
yeah.
the Phillies one and the
Boussac and the...
Yeah.
You usually see a good French horse win, either one or both
Lagardère,
of
isn't
them,
it?
don't you? The Lagardère, yeah. I remember seeing what's that great filly that won the Arc win that race when I was at the Arc Day. I can't remember her name.
Was it
Sarkava, was it?
Sarkava.
Sarkava,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, God, yeah. You went for that, did you?
Yeah, I wasn't at the Arc when she won, but I was there when she won the previous years. Is it whatever they call it? The Phillies one.
The Boussac.
Is it the Marcel
It is.
Boussac? Yeah. So yeah, I like those 2 races. I think you get some good horses with them.
Yeah, it's a great weekend. First weekend in October, of course, coming up. We've got the Breeders' Cup still to go. Will we see Naval Power go there? We'll get some quotes coming in from the track. Our top boys and girls are all around the country today. Let us know where you're watching from. I see from Rainy Island someone's tried to come in as well. Let's get some interaction from the crowd in. And we'll start building up, of course, 3:30. It's not a final race. We sign off at Ascot 3:45 with the Lavazza handicap, which is basically chock full of group horses, future Melbourne Cup horses, you name it, they are there. 1:45 then, let's hone in on this while the guys build up some interaction from the crowd for me. Whoever thought at the start of the week that Triple Time was going to be a short prize? Now this is interesting. I'm going to lift the fourth wall, which some of our producers don't like us doing on this show, but I'm going to do it. Hopefully they're not watching. Barry Orr messaged me this week. He said, can you ask your mate Adam Ryan, who we had on our feature show, What a Shout on Friday, about this particular horse? I know, on a quiet Wednesday, it raised my eyebrow. Barry's obviously going up there, and I thought, is he going to have a go at this? Anyway, so I asked Adam about him, and he said, well, he didn't really want to go into it. He's such a precious horse for them, I think, this bloke. They consider him, a proper Guineas horse, a proper Derby horse. He went to Newmarket, Adam told me, to do a bit of work. He saw Caribus working, of course, on the same day, I assume it was, on that Craven meeting. Quietly, he knocked himself there. They said give him 5 or 6 weeks. They gave him 12. This is next year's horse. I said, is he going to be fit enough to win this? That's probably what Barry wants to know.
Yeah.
And he said, well, ability-wise, we think he's probably the best horse in the race, but it's a long layoff. Now the 2 dangers have gone.
Yeah.
And he finds himself, if Barry's laid this in the week.
Oh,
So anyway, this is a very topical horse. I know we've only got half the runners, but we might just see a future star here. And he's got some tough nuts to crack, Kate, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. From a pace perspective, Marie's Diamond, I guess.
Tom Siegel's put him up today.
Yeah, but then with a pair of them, if he does revert back to what we saw of him previously, being ridden prominently then for Triple Time, that is going to make his job an awful lot more difficult. But ability-wise, oh, for sure, he was bang there with Reach for the Moon and Bayside Boy. And with the pair of those two in there at the time, the pair of them showing the quirks, not that it matters now because they're not here, but I was keen to try, well, definitely take on Reach for the Moon. But then also Bayside Boy just on that slight hanging that he showed last time out. But that is the question, this 364-day layoff. Obviously won the race that we just saw of our last race on this card last year. I think he is a very, very exciting
Is
horse.
he the tip?
He is. Well, it has to be now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, I think
very
so.
boring.
I was tempted by Marie's Diamond. We'll get Marc's bet on in a second. We've got plenty of time. G, can you point us in a different direction here?
No, not really. No, I mean, this was the second of my swerve races. You know, I like a little swerve.
Just the first two then today?
Just the first two.
Just the first two races.
Yeah. There's some good bets to come, but no, I didn't really like this race with Reach for the Moon in it, and I don't like it even less now that there's a bunch of non-runners in the race. And I suspect that Adam didn't give you too much of a clue, knowing Adam. He's not the most forthcoming with you know what he tells you, is he, Dave? You know, I know that you two are like that, aren't you? You and Adam Ryan. But
well, it was made easier my friendship with Adam because whenever I went out with you and him, you kept annoying him. Unsurprisingly, our viewers will think. But I even said to him yesterday on What a Shout, I said, "Don't worry, you'll be thrilled. We've deleted Rodway from this year. He can't tell you horses are rubbish and that you're going to get beaten." It was actually this weekend a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Hela Youmzain versus Dream of Dreams.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, it was a good day, wasn't it? That. I don't know what to make of him. I suspect, knowing the way that the Ryans work, I suspect he might need the run here. I suspect that he's probably going to be about 85-90% right, and it's going to be reliant on whether his ability gets him through or not. You know, I think he's the best horse in the race. But
they'd have been happy, I think, to see Reach for the Moon and Bayside Boy in there because no pressure then, you know what I mean? They can just let him run a nice race, and if he wins, he wins.
Yeah.
Now the spotlight's firmly on him. Marc, before you give us your idea, just give us an update of the market. When did I guess he crashed when Reach for the Moon was a late non-runner, wasn't he? But Dark Shift would have been interesting, of course. And Brunch is a rock-solid handicapper, stroke listed horse.
Yeah, we've been absolutely killed with the non-runners here, especially for the each-way angle. Reach for the Moon, this one was quite notably weak yesterday on the sportsbook. Opened up around 4 to 5, was out to 13 to 8. It was definitely one, I agree with Graeme and Kay, definitely one that I wanted to take on and lay. So this was my initial selection. I think you had enough in the race running for you, Triple Time, and you had Bayside Boy. I think it's difficult to oppose Triple Time here. Currently 2.46, around 6 to 4 on the Betfair Exchange. But take on board what Graeme's saying as well. Even 85% fit, I just think Class could get this one through. 2 from 2 at Haydock. Obviously needs to prove that he's fit and trained on, but I think difficult to beat. I think a lot of these are out of form. I think his Class will get him through here. So that will be the bet. Back in Triple Time.
Are you back in the jolly?
Yeah, listen, he's 6 to 4 on the Betfair Exchange right now, and he's 7 to 4 to win by a limb. So what we'll do is we'll take the 6 to 4 on the Betfair Exchange. I just think by default the one to beat here, the initial bet was to lay Reach for the Moon, but that one's gone. So £25 win, 2.48 around 6 to 4. That's the bet.
OK, Marc Hryhoskyi going for the jolly in the second race there. Now, it sounds the rest of us are as well. Takarid Bay, who is a course winner from memory as well. He's put up by a couple of our top tipsters when he won there a few runs back. I'm a tad surprised that he's such a short price second vote, because I thought Marie's Diamond would be a little bit short. So someone who likes Marie's Diamond, it's G-Rod's mate out there. Let's get some social interaction up because I'm hearing that. Devo comes back on and says was really keen on Marie's Diamond. 20s with a field of 8 because, you know, front runners track this, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he has been working his way back. Very good 3-year-old. Placed in a Queen Anne from memory, Devo.
Going to be looking very good, isn't he, at 20s with the Royal 4. This is one thing that really works in punters' favour, isn't it? If you can get a price at 20s, even with the 4 non-runners, and you calculate the Royal 4s, I reckon he's still going to end up with probably a good bit bigger than the 5 to 1 that's available.
It's always better
now
than taking the new market at Royal 4, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. So he's got a nice bet there, Devo, even though I don't think you're going to win. But I wish you luck.
Staples 0 from 29, Roger fell, but a few placed efforts. Obviously, Dancing Magic went close in the first race period, but.
Good shout, good shout. Let's have a look at one more. Oh, Nedster comes back, one of our regulars. Welcome along, Nedster. I backed Triple Time every race so far. Absolutely lovely. Backed him at 25 to 1 first time out. Was that when he got beaten? Yeah, third, wasn't he? And then second. He's had his last 3 runs at Haydock, Nedster, hasn't he? Of course, that was by a horse called Dabab. I remember that. He tried to make him into a Coventry horse. And they waited. He won't mind soft ground, he won't mind fast ground. He turned over a Godolphin Hot Pot in this, didn't he? in the Ascendant Stakes, last year. That was half it. We haven't really heard much of that chap. But.
Yeah, what about Kevin Bryan's form then? Sort of, will they be pretty disappointed with this season as a whole?
No.
No, they haven't been. Was it expected?
No.
Or not expected? It hasn't been dismal, but it obviously hasn't been.
They've not got glass slippers anymore.
Yep.
What's the other one that's gone? It's been a transitional year for them.
That's what they've
But they've still broken $1 million in prize money.
Yeah.
And they were expecting a strong end to the year, I believe. Our old friend goes in the Air Gold Cup again.
Did you see who's running the 330? Holla, holla, Athmani.
Holla, holla, and I'm thrilled that you're on. And I'm thrilled that you weren't on yesterday to do that for him.
If she wins at 80 to 1,
We'll all be chanting.
yeah, we'll all be going
Holla,
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 holla.
holla, holla. Well, we love her. And again, if you watched the feature show yesterday, you know they've retained a lot of faith in her. She's a massive filly. And forget the York run. If she comes back to the Commonwealth Cup run where she was running on a
Yeah, she's no 80 to 1 shot.
She
on that,
definitely
on that
isn't.
form, is she?
No.
That was an eye-catching run.
You like her, Marc, don't you? Oh, look at
Holla,
Hryhoskyi's
holla.
face.
Oh, is that
Holla,
one?
holla.
Holla, holla.
Completely.
Steve, the cat's out of the bag now. Just be collapsing on the Betfair Exchange right now. But yeah, I think that one's massively overpriced. 130s on the Betfair Exchange right now. So hopefully no one doing anything stupid. We'll take 100s on the Betfair Exchange when the race comes.
Yeah, okay. They've got a race coming up at 1:41 at Thirsk, and they like their horse in it Transfer Affection as well, who's a nice price in that if you want to go with them. But they're expecting a strong end to the season. And Emiratiana, who of course won the race last year, last horse to win back-to-back Sprint Cups. I love doing this.
I know it, but I can't tell you. But someone told me the other day. But
How long ago?
It goes in one ear and out the other at this
It's only
age.
been done once.
Yeah.
Lord Byron, Gordon Lord Byron, was it?
No. Good Lord Byron.
Lord Byron.
Oh, he was a horse, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Easy that day, didn't he?
Oh, I love him. He was a great horse.
It's like
Tom
1970, I think. It's a long time ago.
66 to 67.
Yeah.
Are you trying to find
Nice.
it, Kate?
Yeah, I was trying to find it, and then you said that, and I thought, right. I'm
Everyone
not
out there
gonna
is
stop that.
screaming at the telly is Be Friendly.
Yeah.
Who, when I got into racing, people used to talk about Be Friendly.
Yeah.
And if you ever, used to have these great games on the PlayStation with, like G1 Jockey and things like that, and Be Friendly would always come up.
The good times, yeah.
If you've got good times there, why don't the PlayStation do another game?
Yeah.
A horse racing game, come on!
Starter's Order is quite popular on the PC. Have you played that?
No.
It's like Championship Manager, Football Manager for horses.
Oh, I bet that gets you out of bed,
Yeah,
doesn't
just
it,
run
Marc?
them over the wrong distance.
I
get a
bet
hand.
you love a bit of that.
Really? You can actually
Yeah, I'm quite bad for that.
pull
yeah.
strokes with it.
Yeah, you can pull strokes, yeah. You can have the lot on as well.
You can actually get on
Yeah,
the
you can get
PlayStation.
on,
Yeah. There's been lots of different guys in there. I remember, was it Starters or G1 Jockey was absolutely different.
That's what
Gravy,
everyone
I
always
think.
said. Yeah, G1 Jockey.
That was
the thing.
amazing. I think they do have a version down under. I don't know whether it surprised me. I know that. And,
Again,
but
two mentions.
well, listen. If you're listening out there, games makers, come on.
Yeah.
We all want it. All the kids would love it. But it sort of helped me get into racing. I think that
Oh,
loved
definitely
it.
for you. Because someone did that a while back. Someone kind of drew up like a FIFA type sort of promotion of what they would have as the cover on the front of the game, and it looked class. And it was just, like you say, it's just another example of potential modernisation that racing.
It was on Twitter, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, someone put it on Twitter.
Yeah,
It
it's
looked
class,
so
yeah.
cool. Whoever drew it up, and I just thought, sure, there's a
Did it
market
have
out
Oshin
there
on the
for it.
front?
Yeah, it did,
Something
yeah.
tells
Oh
me
yeah,
it
with
did. Yeah,
Connect
I
or
saw
something like
it.
that.
I saw it.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
it's just
there's a
another
nice
thing.
clip then for you. If you're listening out there, games makers, young programmers out there, go on, we'll help you pitch it if you want to go into
my
Konami or
my
whatever.
son would love it, yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to be a horse racer when he grows up.
What does that mean?
I think he means a jockey.
Oh right. I say which part?
I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't broken him to
Is he-
it yet. but
does he
he's-
take more
he's
like mummy? I hope he does.
He's like 95th percent for height, so I think he might struggle to do the weight. I think, but I haven't broken it to him yet.
Oh,
you
well.
know, still young enough.
Let him dream
Yeah.
for now.
Well, AP was 6 foot plus, was he not?
Oh yeah,
Or
sure.
is?
If you allow him to go into the jump game, then no
Yeah.
problem. Yeah. Wouldn't recommend it though.
No,
All right.
quite rough, isn't it?
we're digressing beautifully. We're half the field coming up in our Superior Mile, the Betfair Exchange Superior Mile Stakes. Massive day up there for Betfair. If you're at Haydock or anywhere near it, get to the track, go and see Barry. He will be there with the team up there, no doubt. Who do we... I don't know. What do we think of the Sprint Cup? I was going to say who do we think is going to be on top, but it's a bit early for that, I think, for our panel to reveal their choices. 9-2 the field. What does that say? It's not often we have that in that race, is it? There's some hot pots, haven't
No,
there?
is there?
Well, Starman, it was thought to be his
Yeah,
race
yeah,
last
it
year
was
when
meant to be
Emirati did him.
his.
Going back to Emiratiano, if you like him today and you haven't watched What a Shout, why not, first and foremost? But I remember when he went to Royal Ascot and I said, could he be bouncing back? He was a massive prize there. They took him to Ascot on the back of being the best of the British at the Breeders' Cup. He beat a Case for You there. I never really got into it, but did the best of ours. And just, they didn't like the grass at Meydan. Apparently it's on the soft side, the grass there.
Oh, really?
Heavily watered, and the type of turf it is, it lends itself to an easy ground horse. And a Case for You really came good in Dubai. It's taken him ages to come back. But they know that in these Group 1 sprints, if you look at the excellent Kevin Morley's column, you've got to have danced the dances, haven't you? None of them come from like a random race. Look at Royal Acclaim in the Nunthorpe.
Yeah.
Running in these top sprints is everything, and they've run him in them knowing he probably wasn't quite right, but he's been there. He's edging his way back, and of course in the Nunthorpe last time, which he finished second to prior to winning this in 2001. He came back, didn't he? He's rock solid, I think, today. I haven't tipped him, by the way. He was rock solid.
He's going to appreciate the step on trip, and obviously that form in the Nunthorpe behind Highfield Princess flying at the finish. I think this is wide open. I think Minzal, I was potentially going to place lay this one, but quite weak now in the betting around 92. But I think this is wide open. You've got Kadam in there as well. Probably, well, I'm not sure if that one will appreciate the step on trip, but I think Emirate Anna is probably going to trade short and running with the running style. Might be out the back, could be finishing strongly. Could easily hit double figure prices and win. So potential back to lay there for anyone who's betting and running at home.
That is the feature race today, the 3:30, the Betfair Sprint Cup. And it's a great race always, and we're thrilled to be covering for you this afternoon here on Racing Post Live. Get involved, let us know you're out there. Who wins this then? Marie's Diamond. I guess if you're on him, Devo, and all of you out there, you're slightly worried about the fact that Triple Time has shown a tendency to get on with it.
Triple Time's not even favourite now. It's out to 3.2 now on the Betfair Exchange.
Could this be a case of paddock watchers maybe thinking, hang on, he's definitely going to need this?
Could potentially need to run, yeah.
Barry's reply to me was, by the way, Bazza, if you're watching, you'd have to think he's going to need it though.
Oh no.
Well, he tells me now before we're on.
So it's a bit of a conundrum, this, isn't it? We're all on. But Barry, the proper judge amongst us, he's having some summer, isn't he? So, Bazza. But I think he'll be looking for maybe Marie's Diamond. I guess Triple Time, first time out, they're not going to want to be too aggressive with him. So if you're on Marie's Diamond, you'll be... Because Marie's Diamond's definitely happiest when he can get his own way in front, isn't he? He's come up against one last time, didn't he? That decent Hamdan horse. Let's have a look at the other runners then, because we must do that, because it looks like we're about to have a new favourite, Marc Hryhoskyi, in Takarib Bay. Yeah,
very weak Triple Time, out to around 9 to 4, 3.2. Takarib Bay's into 2.84 around the 7 to 4 mark. Marie's Diamond shortening up as well into 7 to 2 from around 11 to 2, but they certainly don't want Triple Time here. It's 134,000 matched the market at the moment. Be interested to see what happens here tactically, but the favourite backers, they want Takarib Bay. They want to oppose Triple Time.
Yeah.
Takarib Bay, why didn't you tip him?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably tip him if I was going to play in this bet.
You've done this nice, enjoyable sort of, I'll sit it out.
Well, we had this discussion, while you were off sunning yourself in Turkey.
And I was.
Yeah. We had a good discussion last week with Barry, about what are the most important factors about finding winners, and one of the ones that I put forward and tell you is one of the most is like how long these horses are coming off breaks. And basically, the longer break you're coming off, the less chance there is of winning. The quicker you're returning, the more chance there is of you winning. Okay. And Takarib Bay is only coming off 7 days off. He's been busy, he's race fit, he's absolutely going to be hard fit for this, which we know the favourite's not. The other one, of course, is Marie's Diamond, who's coming off a 2-week break, which again, anything sort of 1 or 2 weeks, I always think is ideal. So yeah, I would definitely be a layer of the favourite. That's for sure.
What would your ideal break be on the Racing Post cards? I don't know, mine would be something in the 20s, I think.
Yeah, well, I think we had this discussion, and jump-wise, I think, a little bit longer is preferable. But on the flat, you're looking at horses that can turn out quickly.
Late money for Triple Time here. Back into favourite around 2.78, around the 7 to 4 mark. Flip-flopped again, It's nearly 175,000 in the market right now, matched in the Betfair Exchange.
What about Perotto? Where's he sitting, Marc?
7.4 for Marcus Trigoning. Ben Curtis takes the rides. Not really moved on the Betfair Exchange. It's just the Takarib Bay and Triple Time that seem to be flip-flopping.
There's a bit of market chaos, isn't there? They don't really know.
They don't know yet.
That's a very good point.
They're just all over the place. 1 minute they come in for Takarib Bay. Now I think they're coming back in for Triple Time, are they?
Has he lost a few kilos down to the start? What?
Can we have a look, Kate, our horsey person amongst us, at exactly how Triple Time's looking? This will be key.
Yeah, it's always really deceptive when you look at a TV screen of a horse, or say when you see a photo of a horse as well, because just from literally the angle of the lens there, it can completely play tricks with your mind. When you see a photo of a horse, generally they look a lot lighter and leaner than they actually would in real life because of 2D. But then also on camera as well, it all depends on the angle. Sometimes you'll see it on, say, the ITV cameras on the paddock pieces, and you'll say, every horse will basically look like Sebaska, just a big belly on them, and everything will be shortened. But then
Could have said Rodway then.
I was going to say, I know that feeling. Always got a figure on
all in
camera.
the middle, just concentrated. But yeah, it all depends. But to my eye, from what I can see from this far away racing TV pictures, I mean, he just looks in cracking order. The shine on him and everything is just, yeah.
What's the tactics going to be here? Who's going to make the run in it?
Well, we're thinking it'll be Marie's Diamond.
Mary's.
Just looking at the ground, guys, and the weather there in St Helens, and we were expecting rain, weren't we, intermittently? Beautiful cover in grass there. They're just going good luck where you are. The first race, Slow Boy 3.62, to let you know. Triple Time has, slowly into stride.
Oh, that's decided the pace.
So there we are.
That's decided our pace angle for us.
If you're on Marie's Diamond, you're thrilled, but he's
look at him. And he's latched on.
Man, what price he gone already?
3-1 and running on the Betfair Exchange.
I'd go bigger than that, guys.
7-2 now. 4-1.
Perotto being kept wide, Takarib, but you have to say that through the first two furlongs, Marie's Diamond has settled beautifully.
Triple Time outside of the field now and running on the Betfair Exchange.
Yeah, Andrea Razzini, he's very fresh. The horse, he's not been seen since this weekend last year. Triple Time does, I don't know, he's got a little bit in his favour in that Perotto is racing a bit more prominently than normal. Kate, turning in.
Yeah, I was going to say, this isn't sort of boding well for the favourite. Coming from further back, they're very keen, very fresh and gassy. He latched on because he got away slowly, was then rushed up then, and that's what has meant that he's latched onto the bit. But yeah, Marie's Diamond having a lovely time out in front.
And they're sticking far side, G.
Yeah, they're standing far side rail, which they often do, don't they, when the ground's not soft. So
Takarib's short.
Takarib's travelling, isn't he?
2.74 and running.
Andrea was saying, well, come on then, we may as well see how good you are if you're on Triple Time. He's let him have a go at him at least.
Yeah.
Marie's Diamond's in all sorts of bother.
Takarib
Bay all of a sudden needs a run. Perotto's the one. He came up against Finest Sound last time. His attitude didn't look great. Now look at this. How low's he going, Triple Time? He's a classy model, this. No matter what happens.
1.7, 2's on.
Come on then, what's he got under the tank? This will be it. I'll tell you what, he's going to win, isn't he?
No, he's going to stop.
He's not going to stop.
Takarib's going to get him. Takarib's going to get him.
He's not going to beat him.
He is. Takarib will get him.
What sort of race are you watching, man? Go on then,
Takarib will
Triple
get
Time.
him.
Off we go.
Takarib will get him.
I'll tell you what, consider he's done so much through the first furlong. He's got this. That's a proper horse, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
Good performance.
I'd say he's blown up there as well at a different stage, and then got his second wind as well. So he'll come on for that, no doubt.
I think we're going to give a little high five there, Kate.
Oh, high
Marcus,
five.
if I could do it with you, I would. One man that sat it out in the middle there is feeling like a pudding as usual.
So did Adam Ryan tell you that he was going to be fit then?
He said he didn't really.
He doesn't tell you a lot, does he?
He didn't. Well, no.
Considering they're close.
He's close. He's
good, Adam. He gives you a real in-depth analysis of how he expects the races to go and what the horses are and where they might be going and all that sort of stuff. But you got the feeling with this one, and maybe even Hala, just tempting a little bit for 3:30. He didn't really want to say too much. Yeah. But whatever the problem was with Triple Time, he goes in. I'm expecting my WhatsApp to be buzzing from Haydock.
He's hit 6-1. I actually thought he probably went a bit bigger than 6-1 on running there, Triple Time. But I think Andrea Razzini gave this one a peach, made the move at the right time, put the race to bed at the furlong pole. Perotto went quite short on running as well. Surprisingly, it was travelling quite well 2 out. So that one's traded odds on. It's went as low as 1.7 for £92. But big performance from Triple Time, considering how keen this was.
Isn't it lovely to see a very talented horse come back from a problem, do all that he's done wrong, and still actually win a race?
Yeah.
It's not that common these days at the top level.
No, and for all of that enthusiasm as well, obviously I don't know if you know what the setback was. I don't know what it...
He said he knocked himself, but that could mean... I wanted to be a bit more specific with that, but you've got to interview these guys again, and they've got owners to consider, and you've got to play the game sometimes and decipher. Like, people always say you never get anything from when you interview Aidan O'Brien, but the more you do it, the more you get roughly what he's trying to tell you, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
And the more you listen to him.
And it's understandable, like you say, with the amount of people that are involved, why you may not know the exact details of it. You know, sort of even with Little Big Better, go back to him again, sort of with the toe clip going into his shoe and everything like that. You know, that was quite detailed that he gave us. But
what does that
it's
mean
tricky.
for a horse if a toe clip goes back into a shoe? What does that?
Oh yeah, no, it's nasty.
Is it?
It's superficial as such, but yeah, it would just be like.
I love your Cornish, the way you go Cornish sometimes. When you said that he was gassy through the race, you talked about the William Haggis Ebor flop. Garsey was running all of a sudden.
Yeah.
He's a bit gassy.
Gassy has suddenly appeared at
For all of
Haydock.
our Cornish viewers, they're loving it down there at the moment.
I reveal my true identity.
Probably
every
still got
so
us a
often.
holiday makers down there as well. But,
Yeah.
what does that actually mean? How long does it take a horse to get over that?
Oh, it depends. Again, all of these injuries, when you say if they've knocked themselves, that's why you have no idea of the details of it, because it all just depends. You know, if a toe clip's gone in, you fear that then it may have it could get infected at some point then as well. It may have had further damage. It depends, especially in a horse's hoof. If, like, I've known a horse that stood on a nail and things like that beforehand, and even in that sense, it can be touch and go for saving their life, even in that sense, with how much of an extra millimetre something can go in. So it's all tricky, and that's why you can understand why connections may not want to be completely forthcoming about exact details of what an injury might be. But for him, for our winner just then for triple time, I mean, he was striding out like the most beautiful moving horse.
Yeah, I like it.
There was no scratchiness there at all from him. He's got a beautiful sort of quick on top of the ground action. Obviously, the ground didn't faze him whatsoever then. But yeah, definitely physically, he didn't look like there was any ailments or anything that had been at the back of his mind.
Yeah, and where might we go with a horse like this now, Graeme? You know, my lovely programme book game that I like to play. Let's have a look at the I mean, they've got a big horse chance coming up in the 220 as well, by the way, guys. Artistic Rifles won it last year, remember that?
Joel Stakes.
The Joel Stakes at Newmarket.
Yeah, end of September.
Yeah.
Would you give
Top
him a
Ranked won
turnaround?
it. Remember him?
Oh, I love Top Rank.
Yeah, looking down. That's facts. I would suggest that a Thistle Bird apart in 2012. That is as good a winner of that race as we have seen for a while.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't think it was a great race.
Think it's a Group 1 horse?
It was the way that he won it, wasn't it? He was off. He didn't settle. Everything went wrong. He ended up at the back of the field, and then he let him go, and he still went and won.
Yeah, and I have had WhatsApp from the great man on course, and it was 2 words. Oi, oi, says Barry. So if he was here, he would have been putting him up as well. So it was just G-Rod that sat out that party. Pleasing. Right, OK. All right, let's build up some more before we go to Kempton, isn't it? We're coming up to in a minute. We've got the September Stakes coming up there, I think, very shortly indeed. We'll see some bide from Chimpzilla. I love that. Blimey, have you been on the YouTube community? Chimpzilla, a great name for rodders, that is. Group 1, G1 jockey was absolute class. Did you ever play these games? I don't really have you down as a gamer.
I think I might have played G1 jockey once or twice.
You know Izzy Phillips, who we've had on?
Yeah.
You know,
She's a gamer, isn't she?
She's a prop.
Yes,
loves the
that's
gaming.
it, yeah.
You a gamer, Kate?
No, unfortunately not. I played like the Mary Kate and Ashley horse game when I was a kid.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was more that and the Pippa Funnels.
You were
stuff
actually
on
doing
Inheritance.
it, though. That's the difference.
Yeah, that was it. It was in real life.
We know that Hryhoskyi is going to be a gamer. We don't even need to. The pilot's definitely a gamer without question.
You need to get on the starters order, download it for the PC. It's like the Football Manager, Championship Manager of horse racing.
I love it. All right, and Devo comes back on. I'd luck with Marie's Diamond there. More stabs at the board. No doubt you're going to have. If you haven't lived, if you haven't played Racecourse Tycoon, oh yeah, I think I've seen that. Is that like an app game, Devo?
Is it like Roller Coaster Tycoon but with race courses? Is that what he's saying?
Well, you're the gamer. You should know.
Well, if it is, I'll have to download that later on.
Have you ever tried to make a game? You look like that. You look like a programmer. You look like a sort of Neo in the Matrix.
I can code and I can write, but it's not something I've thought about. Maybe that could be an idea, a little side hustle for us today. Yeah, we'll talk after. Yeah.
Okay, Steve M comes on and says, I used to play horse racing simulator on my Atari ST.
Sounds like there's a market
Kate was
for
a
these games.
twinkle in the eye when that was...
Yeah, I've heard it in song lyrics, Atari.
Really?
Yeah,
your
that's
grime
about it.
tunes and your...
Yeah, and
right.
I always wondered what it was, and then I actually looked it up once, but is that quite an old school?
All right, okay, Steve M. All right, Atari ST, horse racing simulator. I think it probably got a bit better after that, Stevie. But it's amazing how we remember these things. And the Mighty Gomez, great. Oh, there's a game on Facebook, is there? All right. So if you're watching on Facebook Live now, navigate your way there. We've got one more. Oh, here we go. G-Rod is probably playing it right now. Yeah, he has been on his phone.
Yeah, sorry. As usual, I'm getting requests from people who want me to do all sorts of other jobs.
Can you tell them that you've got your job at the
I'm
moment?
a bit of a jack of all trades and a master of none, Dave. And someone wants me to write something, so I've got to rebuff that because obviously I've got a whole afternoon to spend with you guys and watch them racing. Yeah, we've got. far more important things to
You
do,
can do it
don't
in the
we?
real office afterwards, can't you?
I've got to shoot off tonight, otherwise I would actually do it. But yeah, I've got slight issues at the moment at home, so I've got to go and get the kids and pick them up and stuff like that.
I thought that was going to suddenly descend.
The black couch is out there, all right? When after this, we'll sit down. You can sit down and tell me all about it, all right? And I know we haven't seen each other for a long time. It was a glorious summer, I can tell you that much. Right, okay. All right, great stuff. Keep them coming in then about the, if you'd like to see the games coming back. I think there'd be a massive appetite out there for it. Okay, we've got to move on though because we've got a great race coming up. Triple time. Seeing a lot in the community, by the way, about Kevin Ryan's interview. And looks like he put a lot of pressure off. I might even try and message the assistant trainer and see if we can get the word. But our guys on course will be getting that as well. Again, if you want to know what these connections are saying after races, the easiest way is to become part of the members club. And still, that offer is out there. Of course, it's first 3 months, 50% off. It's madness. But we are still running it this summer, basically. And you can get the analysis in that. And you go on to results, click on, you'll see what our top analysts think. They're running away with the Naps competition. I put 11-2 winner up in that, just to blow my trumpet on my return. You listening?
Did you? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm miles away. What is he?
Selectively
He had a
so.
winner, did he?
Yeah, well,
the
if you
expert
didn't get
eye
that from him, yeah.
is still
Oh,
top
right.
of the Naps.
Oh, thanks to you.
11-2 shot at Salisbury. Bosh. In it goes.
What was that called?
Another Romance. The Crisfords.
Right, yeah,
Absolutely
yeah, flying,
shining
aren't they? Yeah,
ease at the
yeah,
moment,
flying.
aren't they, the Crisfords?
Yeah.
Remarkable.
So how far are the expert eye clear now? Are they still,
Gary Owen
winning?
is the daily record. He's been pesky.
And what happens to the prize? Is it going to get shared out amongst all the tipsters at the race form, or
Well, as long as
are
we
you going
hang
to have
on,
a big
as long
night out?
we are. I would suggest in exchange terms we're 1.2 at the moment. I
Yeah,
would imagine.
yeah.
But you know what happens. They
I
don't
do
all
know
go
what
in.
happens. I remember-
Karibus got beat.
I do remember Keels winning it one year, and he was minus 40 with about a week to go.
That's the worry.
And then he suddenly, he was just having a guess basically, and he tipped like a 40-1 winner that got him right back in it, and then he tipped a 16-1 winner the next day.
And it is guessing.
And he came from absolutely nowhere to win it. Obviously we all know Keels is a great judge, but that year, he definitely wouldn't have won it without that 40-1.
You can take those
winner.
risks when you're.
Well, exactly. When you're minus 40 odd, you'll throw the odd 40-1 shot in, and that's what they'll all be doing, Dave. They'll all be coming after you, expert eye guys, throwing in 50 and 66-1 shots, and one of them goes in, and you're sitting there and with egg on your face, going, "Oh no, I don't believe it! We got done by
After sitting
someone."
there pretty for
50 to
so
1.
long.
Absolutely. Tom Leach has come in on the comments. We haven't got time to build it, Tom, but I can see you're saying RP member club is way too expensive! Exclamation mark. That's how much you think. £40 a month? Question mark. LOL. Do you know what I just said, Tom? And honestly, if you think that the paper is a bit much, listen, don't get me started about the cost of print at the minute. No one really works that one out. It's not just us. It's insane. And of course, we have to do it for betting shops. People like to. I actually bumped into a mate on the train on the way up. He's going to see Tottenham, and he had his Racing Post in his hand. You could just, and he was like, I'm going to sit down and read this. I love it. Loads of people still like buying it, but the members club is a ridiculous offer. You get absolutely everything, more than the paper can throw at you, and it's half price for 3 months. So Tom, surely this is the time to get into
I
it.
don't sort of get it, but then I suppose it depends on if you compare it to the price of the paper per day. £40 a month works out, what, £1.20 a day, is it? Or
It's a
bit
no-brainer.
bit more than that, maybe.
It's an absolute
Get the video
no-brainer.
replays.
And you get everything.
Yeah, the replays, get the live links to all the
Yeah.
races as well, the forum.
And let's face it, the world's going digital, so are we, all right?
Yeah.
So it's the time to get out there. But go to the analysis and you get the quotes on the bottom, all right? That's what it is. That suggests where the horses have done, what maybe they, why they've done well to win. It's not just like, oh, we're delighted with him and all that sort of stuff. You actually get some proper analysis from the connections as well. That's where it is. You can also sit in your members club around about 6 o'clock on the website. Lee Mottersheads, David Carr's at as well, James Stevens, they'll all be out giving you there as well. Having talked to Andrea Azzini about triple time. Who will be talking to us after the 2:05 at Kempton, I hear you cry. And very interesting running. And sometimes I get labelled as saying, Dave, not every race is very interesting. But this is a different type of September Stakes. We're all used to something limbering up, aren't we? It falls on for the arc, basically. It falls perfectly. It's a really good arc trial. Could it be Dubai Honour, of course, who dance a big dance? We've got Mostadaf who wants to come back. There's no obvious hot pot in this. You remember Nabel beat Crystal Ocean, all that sort of thing. Marc, Dubai Honour, Bide form at Kempton in September.
Yeah, I think we'll start with Mostadaf. I think this was a course winner, but stopped very quickly last time out in the Close Brothers at Newmarket, which would be a concern. This one was 130 when I've done my notes up last night, but notably weak. I think it's around 60s on the Betfair Exchange right now. I'd be against that one. I was actually hoping that one would shorten up so we could place late, but Dubai owner for William Haggis, Tom Marc, very popular with the Betfair customers. This one was 7-4 when we opened up yesterday on the sportsbook. Quickly snapped it up. It's trading 6-5 right now on the Betfair sportsbook. Strong on the Betfair Exchange. I think the fourth behind Baid at York in the Juddmonte last time out. It's the best form and offer here. Handles the surface, I think it'll be very difficult to beat. It's roughly 6-5 right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the length in your odds capability on the Betfair sportsbook right now. It's currently 7-4 to win by a length or more. We'll have a £25 win for a £68 return. I think it's the class angle here. I think it was a good run last time out, and there was, as I say, the right people were on for it last time out, each way against Baid. Handles the surface, should win in my opinion.
Barry Orr's been back on while you were saying that to me.
Yeah.
Mostadar for you. QE2 for triple time. Is that sort of calibre of an animal?
Okay.
So no Baid now in the mile division. Going to aim at Champions Day. It looks like the QE2. We'll try and find some prices on that. Maybe get it reintroduced. He hasn't got any entries at this time, but because he's had that layoff. So QE2, if you're going to stay with that project all the way to Champions Day on the 16th of October, I think it is. I remember that day well.
Yeah.
Last year. Remember
Oh,
I
really?
had an interesting journey into the
Oh,
office,
of
didn't I?
course you did, yes.
I got
Which
hit
bridge
by a
was
runaway
it?
car.
Which bridge were
It
you
was
on?
outside the House of Parliament.
That was it.
I got hit by a runaway car. I didn't have a driver.
What?
It was, honestly,
Yeah, the car hit him, not anybody in it. It was,
he did a runner,
Yeah.
this boat, and the car.
Before the car
So I've got
really
out to say,
Oh.
excuse me, dear chap, what are you doing? There's no one in the car.
and he ran off.
only Dave could manage that. To
I got
manage
him
to be
with
hit just by a
seconds
car.
to spare, dripping
Wow.
with sweat.
Yeah.
Yes, still didn't get
And he
a,
still managed to.
still didn't
the
get a monthly
entire
award
show.
for performance or anything like that.
And what,
Some
they-
bloke sent an email and won it that week, I think.
You didn't get a nomination for a step further.
I got a
or what?
nomination, I didn't win. Anyway, there you go, we digress. So Mostadaf, he's a big price, Mark, this, isn't it? Is Mostadaf?
Yeah, very weak on the Betfair Exchange. It was around 130. I was hoping this one would actually shorten up last night. It looked place lay. Was put off by that run last time out, stopped very quickly. But again, if he gets to a big enough price, it's worth having a saver on. As a course winner, but not for me today,
There's some
unfortunately.
if you had to pick out a winner, who would you think it would be?
I think Dubai owner is the one to be on. I think that fourth last time out. Again, right
Getting
people
weight,
on,
isn't he?
right people on for it last time out as well, each way. Baid form's best on offer. Handles the surface, should win, in my opinion.
For Haggis and Marquand. In-store one around Kempton, obviously a big thing. Watch him going down there, looks great. William, in his quotes to us today, says lack of opportunities for him. He's in his prime. Graeme Rodway.
Yeah, 120 they gave him last time, finishing 9 lengths behind Baid. So yeah, they must think that Baid's very good, which obviously he is. But that's a very high mark for being beaten 9 lengths. You
Yeah,
know,
wow.
You don't see many. I mean, the
120?
the
Did
medium.
we give Sabuska 120 in that?
Sir Busker got 120. Yeah, 120 as well.
Yeah.
And Mishrif got 125. Yeah, so it was very high.
£3
Do you think
below his
Mishrif ran
previous
his
week.
race that day?
Well, our handicappers think Mishrif ran his race. It's hard to say, isn't it? But yeah, I fancy Third Realm. I really fancy Third Realm. I've got a killer stat for you.
Go on.
Right, Roger Varian, since the start of 2021, has had 14 horses who were beaten more than 25 lengths on their previous starts. So basically ran terribly and tailed off. Next time out, 7 of them won, so 50%. It's a ridiculous profit because obviously they all got off big prices because they got beaten a mile last time. So it just suggests to me that when Roger Varian's run poorly, like this one did, 29 lengths, tailed off in that Group 1 at St Cloud, as I like to call it, last time out, then I think that Roger gets them back in and goes, right, what's gone wrong here?
He's so good at that.
We're gonna fix what's gone wrong. And yeah, I mean, 7 winners from 14 runners who have beaten 25 lengths plus on their previous start, which is an amazing strike rate for given how poorly they all ran last time. And if this horse returns to the form he showed at Goodwood when he absolutely bolted up in a listed race there, he can definitely win this race.
Strong on the Betfair Exchange.
Is he?
It's
Yeah.
around 10s and a 7.2 around the 60s.
Yeah, really fancy him.
You do, Third Realm.
Third Realm, yeah.
Who beat, of course, Adyar famously in the Lingfield Derby
did,
trial. Yeah, and then just took a little time to grow into himself, I think. But I agree with you. Roger Varian is extremely good at drawing stumps and getting a horse back. We see it time and time
62
again. don't
days he's had this horse off.
we? All right. Okay.
Should we run that query again on with days since the last run?
Yeah, go for it. I'll let you do
I
that.
bet he goes, and I bet the longer they are off, the better the strike rate is as well. But I'll let you know in a minute.
Dubai owner even money for the win now, shortening up. There's nearly 300,000 in the market. And again, Third Realm, same price, even money for the 3. So what would you rather be on? Dubai owner, even money, or Third Realm, 3 place market?
Absolutely Third Realm. Yeah, I think he'll definitely bounce back. Well, yeah. It doesn't matter on the.
Has
on
he
the
run
runs.
on the all-weather before? He has.
It wasn't at Lingfield, of course, because the Derby trials on turf.
It was. He's actually run here.
Has he?
Yeah.
How'd he go?
5th of 14.
On Davy, yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Probably not the horse that we were looking at. Behind a horse called Lord Protector, of course, who's a decent handicapper, but we only gave him a mark of 69 that day.
He lost
didn't
at the
win, won his
start that
next
day. For
Did
Rob.
he?
Yeah, slowly away. He was given a,
Yeah, you're right,
a
to
week
Welt.
right.
Okay, all right, we've heard from Marc, we've heard from Graeme. Kate, take it away.
I'm throwing the curveball in as well, then into a 3-place market. Gear Up.
Oh, I love this
Another
horse.
one who's making his all-weather debut then here, but pedigree suggests that he should really take to it because he's closely related to New Direction, dual polytrack winner as well, so hopefully that will be in his favour. But of course the surface question has to be answered by a fair few of these, hence why I think it's far more open than the betting even originally suggested anyway. But really likeable horse, and I mean he is clearly group calibre and then some. He's already a Group 1 winner at St Cloud himself. But obviously that was when
Just
we
renamed the track.
Yeah, exactly. We're just going to put sort of our colloquial spins on everything today.
Love it,
yeah.
why not?
Yeah, nasty, St Cloud, everything now.
Billy Buick.
Gassy, yeah, but that was when previously trained obviously by Marc Johnston, and then he just sort of lost his way, didn't he, in his 3-year-old season. But with Joseph O'Brien now, he's really just finding his way back. Joseph O'Brien 3 from 11 at Kempton as well. I think it's fascinating that they're deciding to run him over here, and he's just working his way back to form. And I thought that Group 3 win at Leopardstown last month when beating Chester Cup winner Cleveland, it was very strong.
Now
form for Group
stablemate
3.
Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah, stablemate Cleveland,
I think they're going to stick him to the Irish. He's not going down under, basically. Lloyd Williams, who is the the big conduit down there. I think he'd probably think he's a bit too high in the weights. I would imagine. So I was on Gear Up last time. He's a pace angler in this, isn't he? Ex Johnson grinder. I like him. I guess who I'm tipping, guys. You're never gonna.
You going something different again?
Universal order?
No.
Calling the Wind.
A horse I like. No,
Not
a horse
surely.
I like. Come on, G-Rod. Who's my favourite in this?
Not Mosty.
No, what are you on about, man?
We named
What
every
did
horse.
Canada do to your head, man?
What's your favourite?
My favourite horse in training runs in this race.
What?
I've seen Devo call this out.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that on there. Solid Stone. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Training.
Yeah, of course.
I might just stay quiet during this and just watch every galloping step he takes. He is the most magnificent horse in training, this Solid Stone. He ran, of course, in the Hardwick last time. Probably a bit classy for him, maybe. But he's got to give weight away here. But he's got course form, and this is his sort of trip. They've been waiting for the ground. And it was this time last year. Do you remember I was on the show and went to Windsor? And
Yeah, I do,
right
Last
off that
week.
night, I just love him. He always looks beat, Solid Stone. He beat Al Ari. Do you remember? That was his big one at Newbury. Anyway, that's me, unsurprisingly.
40% strike rate as well right now for the stable, so flying.
And they're off and running. And Mostadaf did not like the start at all. There you are. Has Dave said Solid Stone 50 times yet? I'll have a good go for you, Devo. Worry not. And guess who's in front?
And there he goes.
Oh, he's a lovely animal, this. You don't want to give him an easy lead. Tasman Bay on the inside.
Bay wouldn't be giving him an easy lead.
He's got Royal Ascot form. Calling the Wind, who wants about 10 miles.
Should have run in the Ebor.
Should have run in the Ebor. Well, he'll be going to Says again, won't he? I'd imagine.
Solid Stone shot and right up in the bend here, 11 at 2, BSP 12.2.
Well, that's because he's in front under Kingscote, of course. And like I say, if you eyeball this chap, you are in a lot of trouble. That's what I love about him. Universal Order will be liking the fact that it's quite a nice tempo ahead of him. Well, perhaps a tad surprisingly, actually. Dubai Honour sees them all in under Tom the Pom. What's that saying?
Took a pull, 2.5, 6 to 4 in the Betfair Exchange right now. I was quite surprised with that. I think he'd be a little more prominent. Looks a bit keen as well in the run.
Too far behind, isn't he?
Yeah, and they've got a slow pace as well. A lot of ground to make up here.
I would happily have Kempton racing all day, every year.
Would you?
I love Kempton.
Really?
Yeah,
it's my favourite all-weather track by a mile.
Why is that?
Just love it. Just like the way they attack. Just like it. Just think the right horses come to the fore. I think the pace is usually all right in the races these days.
If I was on G1 jockey now, I'd be panicking.
You would be thinking, the boss is going to be livid.
On Dubai Honour, yeah. If I was riding Dubai Honour and G1 jockey, I'd be getting him a lot closer closer, that's for sure.
We're about 5 out, and Kingscote is trying to wind it up a little bit. He's got gear up. Kate Tracey's home for company. Mostadaf's got a lovely sit now under Dane O'Neill. Dubai on it, yeah, he's got right turn of foot, so let's see how he gets on. I wouldn't like your one at the moment, third realm, G.
Mine's going to win, Dave. Mine's going to win. You're cruising.
I tell you what, you're going to need to get a move on. Mate. Right, now they're going for it a little bit. Tasman Bay feeling it slightly. He's had the run of the race. Universal Order catching my eye at the back. Okay, so Solid Stone. Is this a precursor for something else? Maybe a return to Newbury, but he's the one to catch at the moment.
Come on, the
Kingscote now kicks. This is what I love about Kempton. They kick. It catches horses out, including the favourite. I bet he's gone big. Yes, he has 3-1. Stone's still the one to pass. Mostadaf just about to take his measure. Stone not going down lightly, but he will get gubbed here, I think. Dubai Honours, I'll tell you what, he's giving this a mile too much.
Yeah, he's doing well too much.
Tom the Point's Mostadaf, classy animal. We saw him at Sandown. They thought he was going to be a Prince of Wales horse. He has blown them away. On the July course last time, it was too bad to be true. Absolute daylight to the rest. Dubai Honour. Tom Marc settled him out the back. He's just got going too late. In Universal Order, another closer. The old boy in the pack has shown his true colours. Probably just got third. Marc Hryhoskyi.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what was going on with Dubai Honour there. Had the plum draw on one, pull straight to the back of the field. Made up a lot of ground there to finish second. But they knew it early on, as soon as the race unfolded, was drifting out in the bang. But again, Dane O'Neill was in the right place with the winner, Mostadaf. This one didn't trade much higher than the BSP, hit around, 9-1, 10-1 and running for decent money. But yeah, in the right place, just unfortunate with Dubai Honour, far too much ground to make up of a slow pace. Ran well, considering.
Mosty.
I'm humming.
Yeah, Gozzy, Uncle Gozzy, and cousin Fabian.
Showing himself. That's the horse I think that they'd be thrilled to see.
Yeah.
He's won well, hasn't he? I think that Dubai Honour would have been a lot closer to him if he'd been a lot closer to him.
Ifs and buts, Graeme.
Ifs and buts. Well as well. Third round on a really good race.
Yeah.
Too far back.
Too far behind. But they win this race, don't they, the Gozzies?
Yeah.
That was Enable, of course.
Enable, and there was other horses that they've won it with. Good ones.
Leave that with me.
Yeah, good horses they've won it with.
I'd take it on next time out.
Yeah. He's a funny horse, isn't he?
You'd be laying that next time out.
He got
It's
hammered.
just shown that he stays, though, isn't he? Which gives him options.
Got hammered
Could
by
he be a
Braybridge.
champion stakes horse?
Nice lay, yeah.
Well, he might run in it, Marc. I'm not suggesting he's going to win it. You should have seen Hryhoskyi's face then.
No.
Proper curled it up at me.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be good enough, will he? Yeah, it depends what rounds, of course.
Well, let's look at his form, Mostadaf.
If Bade runs, then he definitely won't be good enough.
He's basically confirmed his Hardwick form. A lot of people will be screaming at the telly with the brilliant Solid Stone. Behind your beer last time, which was just too bad to be true.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with that day. He's been given a break since freshened up. He's beaten the Cambridgeshire, wasn't he? In the Darley Stakes, of course. That's another interesting race. I'm looking down Highland Avenue. He was a winner at Kempton, of course. He's proved he stays basically. I don't know. He's a player, I think, isn't he? If he goes for the Champion Stakes, we're still, of course, waiting to see what the Champion Stakes field will be. Real World, I imagine, sitting in the shadows, isn't he? Thinking just wherever you go.
Yeah, I'll go the opposite.
I'll go the opposite.
I will not cross your path.
Could he just be the second best horse in the world? I don't know. We've got this thing in America running tonight, haven't we? What's it called? Flightline.
Oh.
Yeah, someone did mention this. Yeah. It's run 4 times, is he? And won by like a million miles every time he runs.
He's as far as the Americans think,
good.
they think he's the best horse in the world, or he's certainly on his way to being that. So the hills are alive. Okay, all right, happy days. Let's look back for the Colston's winners of that. Jack Hobbs won it, of course. Enable won it. Raw Line won it, and then Enable won it again. So you're quite right there, Mr. Rodway. All right, where are we going? Back to Haydock, I wager. And what have we got coming up there? Oh, it's the Mini Borough Cup. I say it's the Mini Borough Cup. It's like the 3-year-old Borough Cup, isn't it? Of course, the mile 6 handicap, and a wide open field. Marc Hryhoskyi. Let's get the market up on screen. There you can see the whopping Betfair SB and Mostadaf.
Yeah, very weak. I would say it was 100 to 30 with us on the sportsbook. Drifted right out. Massive price. But again, I'm not so sure how strong the form is at the run of the race, in my opinion. But yeah, on to the Haydock race. A lot of non-runners here. We were 5 places instead of 3, but we're down to 4 places instead of 3 on the Betfair Sportsbook. I'm quite keen on Inverness for Charles Hills and Kieran Schumark. I think ran a solid race behind the well-handicapped Solcombe in the Melrose non-runner today at York last time out. Up a pound for that. I think this is a lot easier. Consistent sort, stable, operating 21% strike rate. Expecting a big run from this one. It's currently 7-1 on the Betfair Sportsbook right now. And we've also got temporise for Marc Johnston in this race as well. That ran well last time. That was 22, it's currently 16 to 1, so a little bit of money for that one. So we're going to back this £12.50 each way on the Betfair Sportsbook, currently 7 to 1. That one's on. So we've got 2 running first. We've got temporise, 22 to 1 in the lucky, and we've got Inverness just in the single each way here.
He could have been massively overlooked here at temporise, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think it ran well last time. 22 to 1 was a massive price that would put him in the lucky. Get the extra places as well.
Buick on a 22 to 1 shot then on a Saturday. Unusual to hear that at the moment, that's for sure. Of course, we've got the Old Borough Cup over the same course and distance for the older handicappers coming up right after this. So it's Melrose form at the top of the market. Are you Melrosing?
No, I'm not Melrosing. No, I think the Open Champion will win this. Is it Rog again?
Roger Zanian,
Yeah, Rog. I think he could win this with Open Champion, same colours as well, isn't it? It's third round. Let's hope he runs a bit better than third round. Last time at Lingers, he won a maiden. They finished the race off very, very strongly. The closing sectionals were really, really good that day in that maiden. He'd previously shown a bit of promise at Newmarket, so we know he goes on the turf. And these are the sorts of races that Rog wins, aren't they? Like, he's got an amazing record in races like handicaps like this, lightly raced horses, mile and 6 furlongs. Last season he won almost all of them, didn't he? He won the Ebor, I think. Oh no,
Fujiwara Prince, it was 2 years ago. It was COVID season.
Yeah, Fujiwara Prince he won with the Ebor with. And he would literally that season he won almost every one of these big 1 mile 6 furlong races.
He had the second last year called Priano to Golden Flame, who runs in the Old Borough Cup coming up.
Yeah, so I think the Open Champion is the one. Basically.
50 grand to the winner then. Who's going to take home the prize, Kate Tracey?
I'm hoping Tamila can prove herself up to this calibre. Of course, Adjuvant and such like have this most significant form line, I completely admit. But I just think that this is still a very, very fair mark for her to be running off of then here of 85. Hopefully she can bring up the hat trick as well. And, you know, with the rain getting into the ground, then if it has done that little bit, as judging on our timings, what are we thinking, actually? Not from the first race, that was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, no, I was going to get to that actually.
Yeah.
Oh, shall we do it now?
Yeah, may as well do.
Right, so lots of non-runners. I counted 21 non-runners when we came on air and I totted them up. And yet we've had the first race, it was 3.62. All right, that sounds like good to soft, doesn't it? But they sort of dawdled along a little bit in that muddling race. Naval Power had to find the gap and came late, betting the bare form. Triple Time won a more truly run race. With 2 horses going on with it, slow by 1.8. Okay. So look, it's interesting, isn't it? Who was it? You can't trust the ground anymore, said Damon Moffat on our. There he is. Here we go. Look, great timing, producer. Look at that. I thought they were watching the football out there in a minute. 28 non-runners at Haydock today. How can anyone take the game seriously at the moment? 28 non-runners. 28 is it, Damon? Blimey, maybe I did.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
That's madness. It can't just be Haydock. We often say that about the microclimate at Haydock, and everyone likes to have a bash at Kirtland Tell, right? Call him Kirtland Tell wrong, all that sort of thing. The reason why, I've said this a few times on this show, that Kirtland is there because it's literally the hardest course to be a clerk at.
He's the Clark's clerk, isn't he?
He's the Clark's clerk. He trains them all.
Yeah.
You know, he's the man. And don't have a go at clerks. Bruce Millington comes on this show quite right and has a right old pop about that. If you knew what it is like to be a greenkeeper and the turf husbandry they've got to do, it's madness what they've got to do to qualify. And they've done. I think we can all agree this year in very testing circumstances, they've kept the show on the road, haven't they? It's only Bath with the lacks any irrigation that doesn't. 29 non-runners now. Ben Blackmore, our social manager, comes on, Benny Boy, and tells me as well. And yet we're looking at times of slow of only 1.08 slow, and it looks all right, doesn't it? What is it? Loose on top? Maybe we need to get a connection on to answer this next week.
Yeah, we probably need to ask Adam Ryan.
See what
his horses are running.
Best friend.
He's all running.
Is it? My best friend's horse are running.
So he doesn't mind them, but I don't understand why.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
Something here.
It's a weird one, and you've got, 4 out here, isn't it, in this race?
It's difficult as a punter, isn't it? Because you're looking at the races with every horse running, and then suddenly the shape of the race completely changed once you get so many non-runners. Like the previous race, Triple Time, It's a completely different race to the one that I was looking at yesterday.
Yeah.
Completely different.
It's frustrating then as well. Like you say, from a pace angle, everything changes therefore. And
Most of the spotlights for Saturday would have been done on Thursday by close of play, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and
let's get out as quick as they can on a Thursday.
That's it. It's a brutal game, that. All right, we digress slightly. Bit of a breaking story, this, I think, and it will rage on. Would you like us to get a professional on next week in one of our feature shows to answer it?
What, you
If
saying
so,
that I'm
let us
not a
know.
professional?
A legitimate
help it,
professional person hanging around would be good.
Right, okay, what do I think is going to win this? I think I'm with you, G, worryingly.
Oh, are you? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Obeyed horse that's going to get the double up at Haydock.
Good.
They could have been doing a quick treble, couldn't they? Let's get another one up. I think we've got some social love in from one of our dear friends. In fact, he's on a day off, but he won't leave us. He won't leave us alone. It's only Samuel Hart that joins in, Sammy boy. Dubai Honour, 25 to 1 for the Champion Stakes after that race with Betfair. Yes, please. You poo-pooed it, Marc. Are you going to lay him? That's a yes. Sam, you can have what you want on.
I'd like to maybe put in the race next time. Want to get on at any price?
And I'll tell you what. No, he's a good horse, Sam, isn't he? I'll make you right. And he does have a bit of a following because it was that year when he ran in the St James's Palace Stakes and got no run. And everyone's sort of waiting for the big inning. But they're going in. I'm with Open Champion. Kate is with the trainer that's pulled out 2 but still has Tamila in it.
Can take that as a
This
positive
is wide open.
then.
This is wide on. They can't make their mind up on the Betfair Exchange here. Inverness 7.4, Thundering 7.4. Tamala
Marc's with
7.4.
Inverness. You're with Inverness, aren't you? Is that a local town?
Not local for me. It's about 5 hours from Edinburgh, where I'm from. Way up the top.
long way, isn't
Is
it?
it right up the top? Inverness?
Way up the top.
I wouldn't know.
Way up the top.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So good luck if you're with Inverness as well, who does deserve to get over the line in one. There's no doubt in that.
That'll money for Australian Angel as well for Hayley Turner.
A filly I like. Yeah, she's going to stay, no problems.
It's wide
Boarding
open, this one.
the trainer with the best record in this race in the last 10 years. Good luck then, whichever way you play in the what I would like to call the Youngsters Borough Cup. One's moved forward, and that was Rushford, Sir Mark Prescott's horse. Not often you see Sir Mark's horses out the back. And Thundering, we didn't mention him. Paul Mulrennan from stall 14 takes his medicine early for Team Ryan. Really nice horse this. They're hoping he's next year's Ebor horse. Up front,
Mark Johnson's.
Kel Surprise. Now, if you're on Temporise with Marc Hryhoskyi, you are very happy at the moment, I would wager, Marc, because your suggestion needs to settle a bit.
Yeah, very keen.
And you've got the front runner helping that happen.
Very keen on the inside, out to 25s. They're quite a lot of them pulling at the back. We're not sure how fast they're going here.
There's
in
some
front.
lovely horses in this, aren't
I
there?
don't think they're going very fast.
You look at this horse out the front. You know, he was what, a 20 to 1 shot under the Hitman Heart.
Australian Angel's going very well.
Pons Alias, and he's not finished out the front too. It shows you what sort of calibre this is. Australian Angel in 3rd. Is that Jakovec Cavan?
Yeah.
Who won as he liked at Leicester, was it? Recently, they're going right up into it. Frankie on, of course, for Jessie Harrington,
Keen
Irish
enough,
Lullaby.
yeah.
No excuses.
She's going nicely. Open champion for us.
Yeah, going nicely. They're absolutely crawling
Oh, yeah.
along
Yeah.
here. They're going no pace at all, Dave.
Inverness has got
no
the plot
pace
draw
at all.
here.
Don't believe the
No
speedo.
excuses for
No,
Inverness.
don't believe the clock. We know
believe
that.
the
We could be in
speedo.
December right now. You know why, guys.
And it would be the exact same.
Yeah, I guess.
It actually would be.
I guess if you're on Thundering and Sophisticate, who of course is giving a warm up for Yukon Glen coming up in half an hour's time. Out the back, what are you thinking, Kate, at the moment? Get her, move on. But they're well strung out, aren't they?
Reasonably so, I guess, for this type of race.
An
But
ocean
look how
liner
keen
between
there
first and
are.
last.
Yeah, but then they couldn't be sort of that much more compacted, right, rather than they just be sort of wider out on the course. So yeah, I mean, just look how keen a fair few of those still are, and it's like they're slowing up more and more. So
Inverness is as keen for this race as Marc Hryhoskyi is for G1 Jockey. How are you feeling, Marc?
Yeah, we'll maybe get on that later. But yeah, that's favourite running right now. It's around 9 to 2. I'd be surprised if the winner comes from maybe out with the top 5 here. Frankie's got a good draw here. Irish Lullaby 7.2 and running. Inverness, no excuses here.
no, it's dictating.
Are we
really.
going to get a run, G, on the inside?
I
Open
don't know.
champion?
I hope they go down the middle, Dave.
They're not going to.
Are they going to come back?
Now they're going to sprint.
They're going
Yeah.
to stay on the far side. The
absolutely
first 2
sprint.
races have. So if you're on the inside at Open champion ourselves.
Come on, Andrea, find a way
Australian Angel's absolutely cruising. Tamilla's there for Kate Tracey. Kate,
Come
I'll
on.
get a bit out of it. I'll tell you, if you're on the ones out the back, you're
really
a
sprinting
million,
out.
I
It's
think.
okay on this ground.
Pons Alias then kicks with 2.5.
Come on, Andrea, find a way through.
We're cruising, G.
Come on.
Frankie at the moment. Look at this. Tamila on the outside.
keeps
A fine
trying,
chance.
bless her.
Come on, Andrea, find a way
Adjuvant as
through.
well. This is the Melrose form code. We just
Come
need
on,
a run,
Tamila.
G. Don't
Come
he's not going
on.
to get one.
Oh.
Can't believe
Tamila.
it.
Come on, Kieran.
Still Pons Alias at the moment.
Come on,
What's
Kieran.
this coming through?
What's happening?
Come on, Tamila.
Come on,
Frankie.
Kieran. Who are you looking at?
Kieran Schumacher,
This
Inverness.
is Frankie
on
and
the
with
outside.
Kieran Schumacher on Tamila, but it looks like, is this
Come on,
Inverness?
Yeah, come on,
This is
Kieran.
Inverness.
This is Inverness. On the inside.
Come on,
Is he going
Kieran,
to
keep it
get
going.
there?
Keep it going,
Irish
Kieran.
Lullaby's going. He's
Keep
going
it
to be the
going.
Melrose
Oi,
forward.
oi,
Well, they
oi,
got Marc in the first oi of the
oi.
day. Irish Lullaby. What a run from the filly. Frankie in second there for Jessie Harrington. Oh, picked the bones out of that. Tamila had her chance as well for Kate Tracey. We were cruising, nowhere to go, Gray.
Didn't pick up, did he, though?
Didn't
pick
we?
up very well.
I'm going to go into what I think that is in just a second. But Marc Hryhoskyi, the story of the race, was there any real big spikes there?
I think Open Champions went as low as 6-4. It was absolutely cruising in behind for Andrea Zini, but just he didn't pick up. If you're out with the top 5 there, I think you had absolutely no chance to put a line through it. Frankie and Kieran Schumacher were in the right spot there. They fought out. Irish Lullaby, I see how short this one went. I think it was odds on at one stage, pretty short. Yeah, it was odds on at one stage. But Inverness, good ride by Kieran Schumacher, was in the perfect spot going round. Very consistent sort. Nice winner as well, so get the charity off, more profit for the day.
Well, yeah, we need to pick a charity for September. What is it, Greatwood, that got a load of money coming their way after August?
We could go for that if you want, yeah.
No, that was last month.
Maybe give it to a game producer. Maybe get something sorted.
Yeah.
We could sponsor a new gamer out there with the profits coming from Betfair. But yeah, look, we'll think of a charity when Barry comes on next week. Maybe he'll have some ideas as well. We like to go for the equine ones out there. So, all right, we are pretty much. Where are we? We're nearly halfway into the show, aren't we?
Well,
We're T-minus 65 minutes away if they go to time. A lot been said about race times this week as well. And I must say, where was I watching last night? Was it Kempton I was watching last night? It took him forever to get the horses off, which is a bit weird, isn't it? But if they go after time, Sprint Cup coming up at 3:30. What wins? Say hello. Get into the show. You can do that, of course. It's interactive. You can do it on YouTube. Just like and subscribe there. That's what it's all about. Let us know where you are. It's a little bit soggy in places out there. Again, thrilled to have the rain, aren't we?
Yeah, from a racing perspective, yeah.
Just when Hendo was sharpening his pencil and saying we can't get him out on grass.
Yeah,
But if you've been even involved in eventing, Kate, and everything like that, whatever you've been, getting horses onto grass has been impossible, isn't it?
Oh gosh, yeah, it really has been. To get any sort of schooling on grass, which is a whole different entity in itself, has been a nightmare to, get any horses. I mean, even the water gallop at Newmarket, they had to abandon it, didn't they, because of over the summer there. So yeah, it's not been ideal whatsoever, and especially with, to talk about the jumps. When we had the Chepstow meeting last year, it was rattling ground, if I remember rightly, and we had Paul Nicholls dominating. We didn't see many of the horses that won at that meeting again for quite a long time after. I think a fair few of them came back jarred up from across the yard. So hopefully, if it's timed well, we actually do get the rain prior to it.
None of us would mind a soggy September, would we? After the summer we've had.
I get it all the time when I'm up north. It's the norm for me. But yeah, it's been very warm this summer, but we'll take it in September.
Costa del Bucks for you, then it is, yeah.
Yeah, I don't drink any of that Buckfast.
You've come back with quite a nice tan. You wouldn't have. You'd have had a mixed climate, I suppose, would you have?
Yeah, it's beautiful in Canada, yeah, and the US is absolutely beautiful.
You went to New York?
3 or 4. We went to New York, yeah, and we went to Boston. Yeah, we had a lovely time. Yeah, we did a little bit of a road trip and
driving holiday in America.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but
didn't go racing.
We didn't go racing. I've never been to Woodbine. I've been to Canada about 10 times now, and I've never been to Woodbine.
Still not,
so
really?
I keep saying every time I go, I want to go to Woodbine.
You go to a rodeo, but you won't go to Woodbine.
I went to a rodeo. Yeah, I went to a rodeo. That was good. Yeah, I enjoyed that. It was brilliant. Bit of bull riding. It was a proper, small town travelling rodeo. So it was a real. I could have set up a stall, couldn't I? Yeah, I could have made a book.
Well, you go to Olympia, and these big eventing, and you can have a bet there and all that sort of stuff.
Can you?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious. The sort of thing that they might, how long would your man stay on for and all that sort of thing? Who's going to get to the final?
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah, rodeos are marvellous. We're having our own rodeo here. I'm getting a quote through, a very extensive quote from Kevin Ryan about Triple Time. It does show you exactly what he thinks of that horse. He's got an abundance of natural speed. You could probably run him over 6 furlongs. Barrel would be massive. Here we go. Hang on a minute. Hang on. My best friend will not be happy with you. He wants to come and do another live as well.
I look forward to it. I like Adam. He's a nice fella. But let's not get carried away.
He's a big talent. They don't usually win races when they do that, as we've said. Typical of a top-class horse. That's Triple Time. Is he the best horse we've seen so far today? Was it Mostadaf? We've seen some worldies, haven't we? Well done if you rode in with Hryhoskyi on Inverness.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, it was a good shout, that, wasn't it? He always has a winner.
He WhatsApped me last night about midnight I was like, what do you want now? And he said, I've got a biggie. Was that it?
No,
Or
that wasn't it. I've got that in a double with it later on.
have you?
Yeah.
Have we already
Oh,
given
look at
away what
his
their
eyes.
biggie is? Or are we tracking back?
Maybe check the cash out and see what the offer is.
All right.
I'm
okay,
amazed
fair enough.
that Wilders has not managed to tip that on our RPRs in Inverness because he was dead keen on it for
We
the
spoke about it
Melrose.
earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, he was dead
Did
keen
he
on
tip
for
it
the
yesterday?
Melrose.
I'm not sure if he tipped it or
He
not.
tipped Spaycaster, but that didn't round the
Oh,
course.
he's a non.
Yeah, so
He'll be
that's a
living,
shame.
won't he? Shame.
So,
All right, okay. All right, where are we going next?
Kempton.
Ascot can't be too far off, can it?
Got Kempton, 240.
Kempton time, yeah.
Oh, it's the final. I say, ooh, it's the final, because if you watch all-weather racing like I do, and a lot of you out there, if you love Kempton like we do, this is a great race, because they've all had to qualify. They've all got the proper course form. Marc Hryhoskyi, who wins the London Mile final?
I think it's difficult to look away from the top two in the betting here. First few, My Mate Ted. My Mate Ted, I looked at this one last night. It was around 9-1 on the Betfair Sportsbook. It's been absolutely smashed. 5-1 now. It was a big eye catcher for me last time out. Course and distance winner. It was his first run on this surface. I think he's open to a lot of improvement here. Only got £5 for that win, August the 16th, off 79 here. I think this looks like a 90 plus in my opinion. I think absolutely thrown in here. We'll get a strong pace with Moon Island likely to go forward again. So I've put that in the lucky 15. I think that one might be in front at the furlong pole, maybe get swallowed up, but we can get a place at 33-1. I was even looking at a potential distance bet here, lengthen your odds from My Mate Ted when it was around 9-1. But he's 11-2 now. What we'll do is we'll just back this each way. There's a couple of non-runners as well. We'll take advantage of the 4 places instead of 3. I think Theatre of View is interesting as well. Could potentially be thrown in as well on that old Maidan form as well. That's £12.50. We'll bet this one each way again. We'll go 4 places instead of 3. Bets on, so win £107. But yeah, like if you look at First View as well, that one, 3 runs at Kempton, 2 wins in a second. So obviously shows the best form here for Sybin Sura and Christian Howarth. I mean, again, potentially thrown on that Maidan form. But we'll go for My Mate Ted for Roger Teal. John Egan's stable, obviously running well. I wish this one was a bit bigger, but very, very popular on the Betfair Sportsbook.
It shows you how sophisticated these markets do mature to be, because the first 2 in the betting, Graeme, First View showed himself on his return. He ran a blinder that day. Christian Howarth was claiming 7-9 in that day. He just lost out. He then won next time. I thought his run in the John Smiths was perfectly adequate in 7th. Yeah. He went wide. He was prominent along the way. He's drawn his full 7 here, which probably isn't ideal, but if he gets to sit Christian Hours, I think he'll win this. The other horse with, of course, Kempton form has found himself into second favouritism. And it's My Mate Ted, a horse that Roger Till was flung in by the stewards afterwards and goes, where's that improvement come from? Well, we have been waiting for soft ground, Governor, he said.
I think he looks like a 90 plus.
He won very, very well, didn't he? This is an acid test for the 3-year-old. I'll get the 3-year-old's record in this in a second. We've got old On a Session, who I absolutely love On a Session. He needs everything to go right for him.
Bingo.
Great. Well, this bit racing post like Graeme hates it when I say that.
Post like bingo.
You've got Billy Mill for the Millmans. I'm hoping that you and James do a show together soon.
Yeah, me too.
Because he's had you right away here, hasn't he?
He's had me right away.
He has put you massively away.
He told me that all of the Millman horses this year were all terribly well
Told me as
handicapped,
well,
and
yeah.
they were all rubbish.
Yeah.
And he's had like one of the best seasons that I can ever remember the Millmans having.
Safari Dream last time out.
Now I look forward to seeing him, because he was either 1 lying or 2 has no idea what he's talking about.
You wouldn't want to necessarily
which
play
is worse.
poker with him, would you?
No.
Rosie Marsden on this show famously called him Dead Inside. And which, of course, James, you are. You know that. He'll be back with you, actually, on Cambridgeshire Day. We're doing
I'll
that
look forward to that.
If you want to come in and just goad him about that with a cattle prod, you can.
Yeah, I'm happy it's not just me though that he's like that too. It is everyone. It's across the board that he's completely.
They're rubbish, he says. He
Someone
comes with his
Windsor
high-pitched
one time
little
as well.
moany sort of voice he's got.
Princess Naomi, she's not that well.
Yeah.
Davies linked that off camera. Bumped into him at Windsor Monday night, maybe a month ago. Same, Dead Inside, yeah.
Don't go near it.
Didn't even have a pint or anything, no.
No. Yeah, but of course they won Safari Dream with the Racing League, didn't they? Of course, and Billy Mill, when he won over course and distance to qualify for this race a couple ago, he got to the front and he just kept going. Jack Mitchell's having a really good summer as well, really good all-weather rider. And perhaps for the people that don't understand about why you say a good all-weather rider, when you speak to the jocks about all-weather tracks, they call them riders' tracks. That's where you have to really cut your teeth, isn't it? Learn a bit. A couple of years ago, it was like horrible for Ben Curtis, who somehow walked away from it around Wolverhampton, and that finally was enough for them to go, right, this has got to stop. You know, it was too rough on the all-weather. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And but you must learn so much from that, I think. And Jack Mitchell has put himself right to the top, and he basically is mustard on these all-weather tracks. Adam Kirby would be probably the classic example.
Around Wolverhampton or Lingfield Kirby. You can easily knock up a four-timer, can't you?
Without wanting to call out Frankie, you get him going to these all-weather tracks and they just don't know where you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Or more to the point, sometimes at Newcastle to Stanwell, there is a bias there. Yeah. On the inside at Lingfield, a lot of people say it's rubbish. It's not.
You know, that's one thing that I know that I like. We all know that Ryan's great, but that is one thing that he is really good at. Ryan Moore he's excellent on the all-weather.
Fantastic.
You know, he always knows where that bias is. He's amazing at Chelmsford. Like you know, he always knows where you want to be. Same on Kempton when he turns up there, he rides the lights out. He's just on the all-weather. He's fantastic anyway, but on the all-weather, he just is absolute mustard.
There's no one track, I don't think, on the all-weather where you want to be on the inside of the home straight. But Kempton, I suppose, would be the one if you were going to get away with it.
I always shout at the screen if my jockey does it. I always shout, "Don't go up the inside!"
Go there. If it's at Lingfield, I tear it up. Yeah. At the same time, I mark horses up that have won on the inside.
There was one there last night that I tipped, and I was at the as he did it, I was shouting, "Don't go up the inside!" And my missus was like, "What are you talking? Don't go up the inside!" And then the horse won, and she was like, "What are you talking about?"
Mrs. probably did a runner, didn't she?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get some more tips going down. I'm with First View. It's the Kempton form. They've got the cheek pieces on. Christian Howth on as well. They're chucking everything at him. But as Marc said, he's got some very good Maidan form as well. I think he's a class act in this race. Yeah. Yes, he's given weight away to a few like my mate Ted, the 3-year-old, but he'll do for me. And the other horse, if I was going to go for one, is, drumroll please, Kate Tracey.
Baldemero.
Yes.
Yay! Yeah, no, it opened up at 33s when I first saw. Didn't last very long. It's just sort of plateaued out really from what I can see anyway, at least Marc. But yeah, really like Baldemero. I think he ticks an awful lot of boxes. Of course, he has to bounce back from last time out, but even he's been given the 72-day turnaround as well here. Should see him back in much better order. Of course, Connections then won this race last year. He's run twice at this track.
Wasn't it, of course, for the horse watchers?
Yeah, he's run twice at Kempton, finished first and second then as well. And the form of his penultimate start, when you just look down, you see Nottingham Handicap, Class 2. You actually go into it and you see how well it worked out. Dark Shift happened to win it. Ideal. Dubai Mirage finished second. Dubai Icon was fifth. Austrian Theory sixth. All winning since in good contests. So the form is just rock solid there. And he was given £1 back for last time out. Whereas I say, to my eye, he wasn't as disgraced as it initially looked on paper anyway. But the freshen up, this looks to have been the plan. Been well backed.
Very strong.
Can see
the sportsbook in the Betfair Exchange, currently 12.5. I think the booking of Frederick Larson's a massive positive.
Yeah, that's it. The extra £5.
Yeah, really big fan of his.
1 ride, 1 second for Frederick.
I tried to get him on, quite a good friend with the Slevins, his brother, Nigel Slevin, and tried to get him booked for Sandown, the Sky Bet series, but couldn't do the weight. But yeah, big fan of him. He's massive value for the £5.
Freddie Larson.
Yeah, he's very good, very good.
Freddie, he just sounds like a footballer, doesn't he, Freddie?
I think he actually used to be a professional footballer, an amateur, and moved over to become a jockey.
They can
the old Stotty.
Yeah, they're very, very talented.
All right, G.
I didn't fancy anything in this, so I thought I'd swerve this one and all.
Not another one, surely.
So how many? This is my third swerve in 5 races, but I do want to give a mention to Spirit of the Bay, because he keeps finishing second, and I fancied him to win a big handicap at Ascot.
Stall 11 here.
Or at Ascot. Yeah, it's not ideal at Kempton, is it? You can get caught.
This is our tail swishing filly.
Yeah.
That was going to win at Sandown, didn't it?
And stopped in
Sunday
front.
Series race.
Not sure there. There's a lot of resolution.
In my opinion, I don't think there's much resolution.
But she's got ability.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't back her.
She gets the first time cheek pieces at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't back her, but...
It's money for James Millman's horse here on the exchange.
Oh, here we go.
Useless one.
You've not had the message.
Here we go.
Not had the message.
The useless Billy Mill.
Yeah.
We're sort of laughing. We're not sure why that is. At the start of the season, the flat season, James Millman came back in and went, we won't win any races. We're terrible. But on the flip side of that, they do place their horses extremely well. They're like, for a small yarder, one of the best in the game, without question. And he's running still sexy. He's like the pace angle. The fact that Morgan Ferry is so easy to back here, Marc. I mean, this was the anti-post favourite for this race, Morgan Ferry. Drawn in stall 12. I think it was, dare I say, 9-2 at one point. What price is it on the exchange right now for Team Haggis?
25-1 on the Betfair Exchange right now. Bit of a move here for Helm Rock. For the Kublers, Nicola Curry. I mean, this one was backed around 25s into 12s on the Betfair Exchange. That's the biggest mover here within the last 10 minutes on the show. It's drawn 4, like a Curry, potentially go forward. Again, this is wide open. I'll be hoping that Moon Island goes forward, goes fast and sets it up.
That's the part of Lucky 15, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got 2 running for us here. My Mate Ted in the single, and we've got Moon Island in each way Lucky.
A couple of 3-year-olds run here. They've got a terrible record in this race, Mark. I hate to tell you, but records are to be broken.
Yeah.
26 3-year-olds have run in the past decade. Only 5 have placed. Let's move on quickly.
No one's going to win now.
Okay, Brad Powell comes on. Brad Powell, Spicy Individuals, says, my mate said, main bet of the day. Hopeful. Let's hope that hasn't put you off then. Brad Powell. Chris Thames, welcome back, Chris. Spirit of the Bay each way with the extra places. Swishing tail, but likes to hit the frame, as Graeme said. He's got keen on that one as well. Tom Mitchell comes on. Loads of socials coming up. This is great. Another one. You're Dutching Spirit of the Bay and the decoy. Dutch decoy. I'll just talk about that chap in a minute. And Marc like Shark. Love it. Too Tempting each way, who is a Portman horse from memory, isn't he? Too Tempting. Big price, another pace angle. Stall 14. Marc like Shark.
22s, yeah, on the Betfair Exchange.
You might
right
quite
now.
literally be drowning after this, I'm afraid. All right, so great to have the socials in. Let's talk about Dutch Detoy, because he seems to have been around for forever. He's a 5-year-old. But he's really consistent, isn't he? He's one of these Johnson horses that they just keep running.
Oh yeah, and manages to take his racing that
Part
well
of the
as
owners
well.
group syndicate. It must be great to be involved with that.
Yeah.
Well, you're drinking a coffee from the coffee shop downstairs.
Yeah.
That was about 3 hours ago we bought
Yeah,
that.
cold. Got a top up here now.
Oh, it is now.
Yeah,
Cold-blooded
still does the job.
Oh, there you
yeah.
go. All right, fair enough.
See, that's the best way to train them, I think. Like the way that Charlie and Mark do it. You know, just get them out there and run them. You know,
Yeah.
and they keep them on the go. And a great value if you're with owner with them, you're always going to see your horses out there running.
They're going in at Kempton. They need the Group 1 horse now, don't they? And then it will be happy days again now up at Midland. They might have one. They might have one. Filly, 2-year-old.
Always trying, you know.
Who's the one? Always trying. Who's the one that beat the horse that won the Prestige, the Vintage Stakes at Goodwood last week at Sandown? SDS rode it. Is it a Roaring Lion filly? It's in the Jabber colours. Jabber Abdullah. Come on, get it up. Let us know who that is. It's on the tip of our tongues. Not holla Marley. But that could just be their Group 1 horse in the making. I think it's going to go for Filly's Mile on the Moyglaire, which comes up soon, of course. And the Johnsons deserve another Group 1 horse, I think. And I think that might just be it, maybe.
I mean, they don't do target training, do they? The Johnsons.
Not really.
They just like to have a run.
Just get them out. I don't know.
Get them out. Keep them
Yeah,
fit.
maybe not.
Keep them fit on the track, and you know, and it works. It works.
Yeah.
It works, don't it?
They just have hardy horses because of it as well.
Like we're a bit different, aren't we, in Britain? Because they don't really do this in Australia, do they, Dave?
What?
Like they
Lay-off horses.
Yeah, long layoff, coming off long layoff. They tend to give them a run, don't they? Anyway,
do.
they're nearly there.
All distances, all weeks they run them,
We
absolutely.
probably shouldn't get you started on Australia, given they're about to jump off.
I can even tell you what the weather's like in Sydney if you like. Hammering down there this morning.
Oh, wonderful. We're in the right place.
Must be
We are,
hammering
we certainly are.
down at Ascot. 'Cause it's good to soft ground at Ascot now.
Has it?
Yeah,
The rain was I'm about 20 minutes as a crow flies from now, and it was hovering over my head as I left for London this morning. All right, they're in. Good luck whichever way you play in the 240. It's the final of the series. Uber competitive stuff. Thrilled to say that they're pretty much all out. That was number 7.
Yep.
That was Spirit of the Bay. Dutch Decoy out there. Now, first view's gone to the front,
Nice and
which I
fast.
like to see.
What we
Morgan
want.
Ferry, a
Yeah,
horse
good pace.
that basically found a small run race against him last time, and Too Tempting from stall 14. This is a guy we were hoping would be up there. He's made his way up there. Moon
Island, this is what we want, a nice strong pace.
Pierre-Louis
That's what we want.
Jamin.
For
I'll tell you
my
what, Kate
mate,
Tracey, you've got the run of the race. You're thrilled at
I
this
hope
point.
so. Yeah, on the bridle, well enough there, but hoping that From Stall 3 is going to break well, track the pace, then get into a prominent position. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with.
Where's my mate Ted? Out the back, the grey, isn't he?
Yeah, he's at the back.
My mate Ted. Not a good position.
not in a
He's going
good
to have to come
spot, no.
wide. As is Billy Mill. They're all stacking up then. So it's Too Tempting at the moment. Good luck, Marc Larkshaw. George Rook has just put the brake on. First view is in there. Lovely position for
My
him.
mate Ted's in
Under
an awful
Christian House.
spot.
Have they done a bit too much too soon?
I think they have. I think they've gone too fast.
Here
I
comes
think
my
the
mate
finisher.
Ted from the back. Uzinsko, who is a
He's made up.
6-time
Be a
course
finisher.
and distance winner. He's there. Morgan Ferry's there. Billy Mill on the outside. Kate Tracey needs to run, but the cutaway, it's coming. All right, first view now trying to get on with it. And And he goes, the classy Godolphin horse. Has he gone too soon? They're all out of their comfort zone. First View is going. Two Tempted's going with him, but the turbo kicks in on First View.
Don't go to the inside.
Arrow goes to the inside.
Don't go to the inside.
First View. Come on, First View. You can see him off. He's getting loads of weight, Baldonero. But he's on the inside. First View's going to do it easy. Come on, let's have it over. It's me and Kate Tracey. Neck for neck. First View on the outside. Christian Arthur's run a blinder. Class comes to the fore. We got the forecast, Kate, if nothing else. Morgan Ferry's in third, something flying home on the inside for fourth potentially. We'll pick out the bones once Marc Hryhoskyi tells us how low, when and how low did he go.
Yeah, I think the winner is in the perfect spot there, Christian Herf. It's went as big as, 6-1 and running for not a lot of money, a couple of thousand, but big eye catcher for me was the one that was very weak, is Morgan Fury. Came there with a late run for William Haggis, and that one's went as low as 7.2. I mean, it's went off 24.1 on the Betfair Exchange. I think the distress signals were out early on from my mate Ted, was wide, but ran on, just, I think, finished fifth. I think Bald Marimo, the one that Katie liked, that one, every chance on the inside, but I don't think you wanted to be...
What would you have been shouting, Graeme?
That's what we were shouting,
I don't
weren't
think
we?
you wanted to be
Don't
there.
go up the inside.
Don't go up the inside.
2.26, as low as that one went.
Really? Oh, okay.
That's what I wanted to know, because you can see why they put cheap pieces on First View, can't you? Because he just kept finding a bit.
Yeah.
And when he got nutted there first time out, he did something similar, and obviously something found him
He just got
on the
caught
line.
in the glue on the inside. Like, he looked like he was going to come and win it, and then just as and then suddenly he gets
I think we jinxed ourselves. We're having this conversation literally
we
the
did.
race
I think we
before.
did,
yeah.
I think we completely
think
put
you're
the
very
Great shout though, Kate.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
thank
you're
you.
unlucky there.
Great shout.
I had it each way in my Betfair column at least, anyway, because he was a bigger price for.
Social up.
Saved it.
MI, you wouldn't. Well, it's unbelievable saying this in this day and age, isn't it? But MI says, great to hear from you, MI. Says underrated trainer. So Bin Sarur is Saeed. So much in the shadow of Charlie.
A lot of time for Saeed.
Oh yeah, who hasn't?
I think he's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, but he's been brilliant for years, hasn't he?
Dubai Millennium et al.
I mean, I don't know how long MI has been following, but I mean, he was the man, wasn't he, in the 90s? He was the absolute man.
Kempton form to the fore. Then it's just the reason why I love all weather racing is because I was distraught, as you well know, and I can't believe I'm mentioning it, but when the old Fibre Sam went, because I used to have the key to knowing what horses loved it.
Yeah.
And you get horses turning up with duck eggs on turf and just, back on their favourite surface and going for it. These days, the way that the breeds are, synthetics are part of our game. Yeah. And it's weird, isn't it, that you see a turf stallion, but they have most of their winners on synthetics these days. Mm-hmm. It's because it's a kinder surface. And you get these horses that run on turf and they have a 6 next to their name, but you look for the black type in that form, Baldonero, classic case in that, and they come to the fore. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Never mind having the winner, it was just a really, really good race. Massive eye catcher was Fantasy Believer for Ed Walker, and keep your eye on him from stall 10. That was an absolutely massive run from him. There'll be easier pickings for him in the cup in coming weeks. All right, where are we going now? Back to Haydock, isn't it, for the Old Borough Cup? Am I right? 2:55.
9 non-runners in this race.
Hey, who's still left? 9. Who have we got?
Shocker. Yukon Glen leads the betting, 3.35.
What's this about?
Yeah.
I lost contact.
I actually had to refresh the screen to make sure that wasn't an error if I was looking on the place market, but yeah, Yukon Glen leads the betting at 3.35.
Well, as you can tell, we're a little bit. The wind is out of our sails slightly about that. 9 non-runners.
6 runners in the Old Borough Cup.
Yeah.
That's all. 6
Even
runners.
Rodzinski is not in there.
Yeah.
And he goes on anything. Rashun goes on anything. Mirando wants some soft ground. So contact's out, which means, Marc Hryhoskyi, Yukon Glen, the winner of this 2 seasons ago, has found himself, favourite to beat 5 rivals.
Yeah, the one I like is still running, which is good. I'm surprised it's not favourite. Golden Flame for Mark Johnson. Andrew Adzini, course and distance winner, 3 runs at Haydock, 1 win, 2 seconds.
Caught me
Loves
having
it
a drink
round
there,
here. I think it's an encouraging run at Sugar Cup Day behind Mark Johnson's other runner, the Tax We Can. Booking Adzini, a positive, already had a winner already.
And he won the preceding race last year, as we mentioned.
Yeah, I think this thing makes all. Can't believe it's 5.7 on the Betfair Exchange. I've had a favourite.
Island Brave will give you something to think about. He won the race last year. He likes to get on with it.
12.5 on the Betfair Exchange. That could be the saver. You could bet them both.
Am I right in
it's a
thinking
massive
that
price as well.
Amtiaz is a bit of a buzzer here, because this looks a bit shorter than I thought, even with the the deplorable amount of non-runners.
Yeah, I think the booking of Gina Mangan I spoke to her at Sandown as well.
flying.
She's very good. She rode F50s when I was over with the Slevins at Sandown. She gave that a
came
good
back
ride.
to form last time at Ascot. It was on Sugar Cup Day from memory, and I think we gave him a shout when we were in the studio. And here comes Island Brave. But
she's riding a lot of winners, and the stable are flying. I really rate her as well. I think she's great value for the £5.
Totally agree.
Heather Main.
Gina, yeah. That'd probably be the two we'll play here because it's cut up. So you have to improvise sometimes. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to Dutch them too.
Now,
we're going to take that one as a saver. I'll place the bet on the
assuming that you're not looking at any news desk threads, and we're not. I mean, we're slightly disconnected, aren't we, from what's going on? We haven't heard from anyone at the track or whatever. But gee, 9 non-runners in an Old Borough Cup on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible for racing. Racing's struggling enough as it is, isn't it? So it's a terrible thing to see only 6 runners lining up for one of the most competitive handicaps traditionally of the whole season. Can't be good for the levy, can it? Can't be good for turnover.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
If you're looking on from abroad, of course, which is why we went to 48-hour decks. There'll be people all over the world betting into these races, loving it.
I'm sure that there must be some explanations out there. I'd like to hear some anyway.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think Glenn will win this. I would have really fancied him in a bigger field because I think he could get the strong pace that he really likes. But he's got no problem with small fields, as he won small field races at Lingfield last season. The Brigadier Gerard he won, didn't he? He won a race there, the Star Stakes. There was one of those listed races they have there. And if you want to see one of the worst rides of the season, just watch the one that Paul Morenon gave him last time out in the Ebor. I mean, he was just, I don't know what he was on.
Well, he's a perennial hold-up horse,
yeah,
isn't he?
He is, but I mean, you don't need to be that far behind. And he was absolutely finishing off like an express train. Nothing finished faster than Glenn in the Ebor. He finished 7th, typically just outside of the top 6 places. He was only beaten 3.5 lengths. He ran by far the fastest final 3 furlongs in the race, and would have gone very, very close if he'd been a little bit closer. The previous time, again, he was given an awful lot to do by Mulrennan again, and he flew home and again finished the race stronger than anything else. So there is that element of it. I don't expect Paul Mulrennan's going to change. I expect he's going to hold this horse up at the back, trust that the race pans out well for him, and then Glenn will come and win. But there's a strong chance the race might not pan out for him again. He ends up too far behind off a slow pace, and he doesn't come through and win. But he's definitely going to win ones at some point, Glenn. He's gone up a few pounds for finishing, I think, 3rd at Goodwood. I think he was able to run off the same mark at York, but the rise, the £3 rise, actually comes from his 3rd at Goodwood.
Shall I give you sorry, Marc, shall I buoyo you slightly with a stat?
Yeah, do it.
In fields of 5 runners or less, Glenn's won 4 of his 5 races.
Yeah, weird, isn't it, for all?
And 6 to 8, he's 4 from 16.
Maybe it's because he can sprint, can't he?
Of course, it was 17 to 20 runners when he won this 2 years ago. And he's 2 years old and he's got £4 more on his back. I'm going to find it. At least we've got half of the panel with a bet here. We were contact, were we?
Well, I was a few before ever. I think I put the mockers on the Royal. I think I've had the 3 non-runners now, so I'm still trying to reassess and reevaluate if I actually want to side with Glenn now. But like I say, that's what I was just sort of going through then with Glenn, is actually looking at his small field stats. So I'm happy you brought that to the 4 straight away, and it's an awful lot better reading, than you'd expect. So
you're on UCAN now?
I guess so, yeah.
I love these defaults though, because it means we get a shout. And
4th default.
He's everyone's favourite, isn't he? Bruminensen loves this horse. Glenn. All right, but some of you might well be with Hryhoskyi. I'm going to hear from those that are now. Tom Leach comes back on. Golden Flame. I'm on each way non-runner before the non-runners. All right, okay. How does that work out?
I think it was a cracking bet. I think it was 5 place on offer without the 9 non-runners here. It was a great bet. Obviously, he loves the course.
Tommy Orr comes back on, who opened the show. Golden Flame will have a good chance. Again, you're going to be trying to get out, aren't you, and hoping that Island Brave doesn't give you too much company early on. Okay, that's it in a moment with the Golden Flames. Who's on UCAN? Come on, who's on Ollie here? Amtiaz, who's a horse that won at Royal Ascot last year. It was at the Copper Horse Handicap that he won. And it was too bad to be true, wasn't it? When he came back, he was really well fancied. He seems to be well found in the market as well. What else we got there? Halifon, that was really well fancied for Ian Williams against the stablemate. He blew out, and Charging Thunder. So, all right, I'm trying to make the positives here.
Be positive, Dave. Why not? Let's just be positive about it.
What do you make of the Gosden runner here? It's quite short in the bend, isn't it?
So I've just asked
still a good race, isn't it?
Yeah,
still a good race, We've still got an old favourite in Glenn, Amtiaz. Wilders has tipped this for the Racing Post ratings, so I hope he gets this one right. It's actually running at least. Like last year, remember that race we watched here on live at Newmarket? It was one fought out by 2 Godolphin horses. I think one was called Live Your Dream, the other one was called Global Storm, I think. And
Yeah.
MTAS finished third behind them and was
Yeah.
a bit of an eye catcher. I presume that's what Robbie Wilders has tipped MTAS on that piece of Formula O.
What price would you make Yukon Glen here?
Uh,
I think he's value. 5-2 on the Betfair Exchange right now.
He's short, isn't he? He is shorter than I thought he was going to be, but the thing is I make no doubt about it, he is going to win a race before the end of the season because he is so well handicapped. He was rated 116 at his best. He'd run off 105, and he isn't going to get a much better chance than this.
It'd be interesting to see how fast they go early. Because you think if they do go a good pace, it probably will set up. If you can Glen, he'll probably be trading around 6-4 after 2 furlongs. If Golden
This is
Flame
quite
was
incredible,
yeah.
isn't it? Really, I
Well-
mean, to see a 6-runner Old Borough Cup, it's incredible.
I think the Yukon Glen will win.
There must be something seriously wrong with the ground. Is that?
Is it one of these loose on top ones?
Are all these non-runners because of ground?
Yeah.
I assume they
Yeah,
are.
I'm looking-
Are they saying it's too? But are they saying it's
must be
too quick, or is it false, or?
I don't know.
There
I
must
don't
be
know.
something seriously wrong with the ground.
So all I can see on
Is
social
it-
media is that he's
is
just
it-
getting a lot of stick for not watering.
Is it
but
this?
Right.
Well,
all I can see.
we're now at that point of the
Okay.
season where we've never had as much water put onto courses as we probably have this summer, and yet we're about to have a deluge.
Well, the thing
could be the
is,
perfect
this
storm for one of
happened
a
at the
different
Cheltenham
part.
Festival, didn't it, of course? And the Clark got a lot of
Yeah.
stick for watering on the end Tuesday, and then it got come up heavy on the Wednesday. But by the Friday, the ground had quickened back up again, hadn't it? The Gold Cup was actually not a bad time at all, was it? So,
All right. Well, they're in the 6 that go in the Old Borough Cup, and if you've still got one standing, hopefully I'll be singing the Elton John song for you in the final furlong, and away we do go. And Amtiaz kept wide by Holly Doll, and it's Ireland Brave who goes to the front. A repeat of last year's win under Gina Mangan for the Henemain stable. You will be hoping if you're on. I love these colours as well, dark blue with the stars on it. Amtiaz keeping close to tenders. Golden Flame, quite interestingly, is happy to give him 4 lengths. I don't even need to look at the colours for these.
Gosden's very keen here. 11-4 running right now.
I was just looking at that. Halifon's out the back with Charging Thunder, and out the back, unsurprisingly, just to infuriate G, it is Yukon Glen, Paul Mulrennan, who of course has ridden some peaches on him as well to balance that one up. All right, okay, now we are going slow, Graham.
Crawling.
we are going very, very slow. Yeah, and I assume that Yukon Glen is drifting as a result.
This is like
Still
2
favourite,
Is he still
9-4,
favourite?
9-4 on the Betfair Exchange right now, but obviously Amitaz around 3.4. Island Brave, that one went off 8.96. Did shorten up for
We
the
could
off.
be in January now watching a hurdle.
Yeah, I suppose there is a weird thing where like Yukon Glen is quick enough to win a Brigadier Gerard over a mile and a quarter.
They went really hard that day, though. What was the really disappointing stout horse in the Abdullah courses? Oh, goodness me.
Yeah.
Wasn't Royal Ascot winner, wasn't it? Anyway, I can't remember his name, but he set it up for him that day. That was his peak season, UCAB, wasn't it?
He was very good last
Went
year.
on to
wasn't
win at Goodwood.
he
and
was
all that
only
sort
8.
of- Well, now Holly Doyle has said, no,
Oh, they're
not
stepping
having
on
any
the
of
gas,
this, Gina.
yeah.
The girls are going for
Whoa,
it. Kate,
whoa.
what do you make of this move?
Yeah, fascinating, really. Has Holly just let Amtiaz off there rather than sort of continuing to
Paul
fight
Mulrennan's
with being
making a move
keen?
now,
Yeah.
isn't he? 6-4 on running now.
Rennan's
He's
not messing around.
he's not messing around today, is he? Not going to
He's
find
getting a
any
lot
trouble.
closer here, Mulrennan. He's got Yukon Glen up into third already, which is a lot closer than he was in the Eagle.
So he's wise to it, absolutely. We'll
that's
learn a
different
lot
by
about
him.
Amtiaz and his future for the rest of the season, I think he is. He's been pretty keen, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mark, market update, please.
Yukon Glen 2.26, roughly around 5-4. Mulrennan's definitely not going to find trouble today. I think they could potentially fall in a hole, these two in front.
I
think
fancy Yukon here, don't you guys?
Golden Flame still
Ball's
got a
been very
chance
light
here in the box seat. Or is he,
Yeah.
is
Golden
pushing?
Flame it probably is between you two, I would imagine. These two have locked horns. Okay,
Sure,
here we
he's
go
pretty
then.
short, isn't
Yukon Glen's been chivied, isn't he? He knows that they've stolen a march a little bit here. We are round about 3.5 furlongs out on wager. Charging Thunder still happy out the
Come
back.
on,
4
Yukon.
furlongs, of course. Right, Golden Flame. This wouldn't be ideal for him, I don't think. He's
No.
a grinder.
Yeah.
It's been-
Charging Thunder's
Last
going
year's
well.
winner, Island Brave. Amtiaz is just about to take his measure, a horse that does stay. Yukon Glen,
Well, you got
hoping
feet
they
running
come back
about.
to him.
Are they
He's
stopping
just
in front
starting
of
to
you?
wind up now.
They're
Charging
stopping.
Thunder might be
Thunder
there.
after being
Halifon's there. Graham, what do you reckon?
I think that the winner might be in front. Holly, she got it right.
I think he's starting to paddle
I don't
now
know,
a
he's
bit.
starting to paddle.
Oh, Halifon's coming. That could be the one, I think, in the
his
market.
favourite.
Charging Thunder's going on
he's
the
finishing
inside.
well,
And
Charging.
Yukon Glen's there as well.
Well, Yukon.
Oh,
Oh,
Gina.
the meat between the sandwiches, old boy.
trouble.
Go on, Paul. It's like a jump race.
Oh, he's like
Charging
a-
Thunder
Jason,
comes down the outside
straighten up.
and looks like he's going to do it on top, doesn't he?
Oh,
Has he
this
got
is
it there?
hard work.
Gina?
I'll
on,
tell you
John.
what,
Island
John,
Braves
John,
gonna do
John,
it.
And I'll tell you what, he's outstanding.
Oi, oi.
My
Lovely.
goodness gracious me, if you're
Well,
Jason Watson, you think
right
you're
by
taking
Gina.
home a depleted purse in the old Borough Cup, but Gina Mangan was having none of it. And last year's winner, could this be a precursor to Emiratiana at 3:30 in the Sprint Cup? Wins back-to-back old boroughs. You don't often see that. Great stuff, great effort. A small field, lots of drama though.
What's happened there?
Yeah.
Error.
They put the wrong,
Yeah.
racing TV.
The,
Slap your wrist.
Good ride by Gina, wasn't it?
Well,
It's got a solid ride. The second charging thunder has been done at 5s on, 1.2 for decent money. But yeah,
fives on.
that was a nice winner, Gina Mangan, Island Brave. We dutched the 2 there, so we had Island Brave there, so nice winner for the charity. And we had Golden Flame.
The
too big a
lucky
price.
15 is out swimming with the fishes somewhere.
Yeah,
But
that's gone. But the singles, obviously getting us through
yeah,
today.
fair play, Marc. You always knock some big ones in, and well done if you just looked at it and thought, yeah, I think it's been laid out for it. And Heather Mainstable amongst the winners. Great day to see them have their moment in the sun again there. And as called out by Kate and Marc, Gina Mangan, a jockey having a fine time.
Oh, I'm so happy that Marc pointed that out and said about Gina. I worked with Gina for 2 months when I was sort of in between coming back from America and going off and getting my journalism qualifications at John Jenkins's.
Yeah.
And Gina was honestly one of, if not the most talented horse person I've ever encountered. And she broke both her ankles at one point, and she had a real rough time with things through injuries. But she is, you know her yourself, personality-wise, you couldn't meet anyone better, could you? Anyone that works harder. Her diet, she's so strict with it. She goes on the equisizer all the time. And she's never downbeat, even when she wasn't getting rides for a lengthy period of time then.
Yeah.
And she's managed to come back. And if no one is more deserved of getting the success that she is at the minute. It's not a fluke by any means. She is that talented. I'm so pleased for her.
Great to see that, Kate, and that definitely comes through as well. So happy days. There we go. A depleted field, madness, wasn't it? Don't worry, we will pick the bones out of that and find out from connections exactly why they're not running at Haydock today. How many are out the Sprint Cup there, I asked Marc, while I'm asking you to count them up at the moment. We have a competition going at the moment on Instagram for you. The Racing Post latest Instagram competition. I've got to read here. So it's a chance for you to get, this is an interesting one, guys, an annual membership at a course of your choice. Simple to answer and to follow the Racing Post Instagram. Like the post, which is linked on our Instagram in the description of this video. Tag 2 friends, basically, in the comments on that post. It's that simple. Go and get involved if you want to have a 2023, I'm assuming, course membership at any course. There you go. All right. So it's usually a members club one, isn't it? But if you could be an annual member at any course, Hryhoskyi, that's perked your interest.
I quite like Windsor on a Monday. It's quite close to where I live in Fulham. Yeah, seen you there before. It's decent. Yeah, it's probably Windsor on a Monday. Good
Easy
racing,
train.
good vibes. Yeah.
All right, Windsor. Kate, any
Cartmel.
course?
you knew
Just
I
to
was going to
please
say
G.
it, just to be.
They were riding last Saturday. I couldn't believe it when I was looking for Turkey.
Yeah, I like Cartmel. It was nice. My little trip up there.
Yeah. Any course?
I mean, I love Sandown, don't I? It's my favourite place. So.
Think outside the box, man.
I love Sandown. I like going to Sandown. I like going to Chelmsford.
You probably drop well, you've got press pass now, but you probably dropped a few quid there, I imagine, on the way.
Yeah, Sandown I feel like is my home course, even though Chelmsford is my home course.
Someone asked me if I was going to Tingle Creek the other day. I was like, we're getting to that point.
Going to
Really,
Tingle
already
Creek.
being asked to.
That's your biggie one,
I
isn't
like
it?
doing both days, actually. The Friday is a really good day.
Yeah, we cover that on RP Live. Yeah,
Friday
West
they
Live.
have the Winton Novices Hurdle, which is a hot race. and
Massive Betfair day, of course. Any course. You can say what you want. I'm not gonna. It's
Any course.
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be the obvious Cheltenham.
I knew you were going to say that.
Surely
Chelsea.
has to
But
be.
you're usually leading them up and stuff, so
Yeah, to be fair, I'm normally working there, so I
go
don't need
for
them free.
a random one. One I don't know. Where would I go?
Newton Abbot.
One? Newton Abbott.
Yeah.
Nice.
Stratford's nice.
Incommunicado, just go down there and
Stratford's nice.
Stratford.
Yeah, Stratford's
Really
a
nice
great
there.
track.
Yeah.
All right, so listen, if you want to become an annual member, we're giving you the chance to do so. Go onto our Instagram page, basically, follow the link in the video description, tag
So
2
you
friends.
win any course you want.
Any course you want, I'm assuming so, as long as it's not Del Mar or St
Yeah.
Cloud.
St Cloud.
St Cloud.
You know.
Yeah, that's quite
So
interesting.
anyway, all right, the guys will be happy now that I've read that out, that's for sure. All right, so, in fact, I'm getting a little bit, what have I got here going on? Top Banana says, Ben Blackmore, our social manager, thanks for that. They give me these reads to do, honestly, I'm wasted on this channel. Right, okay, all right. We are approaching Sprint Cup. Did you find out the amount of non-runners?
5.
5.
What are they?
For that size of pot as well, it's quite disappointing, isn't it?
Should we call them out now before we go to Ascot?
We got a great ambassador, Kinross.
Yes. Kinross is out.
Castle Star and Brad the Brief. That's the lucky 15 cuffed, isn't it?
Brad the Brief is out. That's no good for me.
At least Holla Holla is still running.
Come on.
Still 130.
Yeah, and you haven't mentioned my shout yet either.
Deviated it up.
Come on, Holla Holla.
Okay, well, so we've still got what? How many runners are going to play? So at the moment, 12. All right, well, luckily at Ascot at 3:10, despite the ground's gone good to soft. Not sure how good that will be for my selection, actually, but I'll look into that one. Also, will love it. Should be fresh. Is he top of the market? Finally got his day in the sun at Ascot, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the betting just now. Fresh 6-1, 7.4. Very competitive here. Aratus 7.6. Shining Blues literally just went favourite there, 6.8. But the one I like here, it's a bit of a price. So we want to bet this on the Betfair Sportsbook right now. So we're paying 4 place instead of 3. It was 5, but because of the non-runners, we're paying 4 instead of 3. I'm quite keen on Space Traveller for Richard Hannon, Ray Dawson.
If ever there was a horse named after a pundit.
Yeah, listen. I think the draw bias at Ascot on Friday was telling. You definitely want to be drawn high. Has the plum draw 17. Likes to make the running progressive game sort. Gets weight for age. I mean, I think can be competitive. 96 here, 11-1 looks a fair price. I was expecting this one to be around at the top of the market, around 5s. But yeah, we'll back that one each way on the Betfair Sportsbook. Space Traveller is currently 11-1. We'll lock that one in. So if that one wins, 190 profit. Could have the potential for a back to lay if anyone's using the Betfair Exchange at home. Massive price, 17.5. Can see this one trading shorter than 10s after a furlong. It's likely to be in front and have that stand side rail.
Okay, all right, then Space Traveller for the cadet amongst us. That is Marc Hryhoskyi. All right, great stuff. And again, I really get jiggy about these big handicaps at Ascot, especially in the later season, building up to the Balmoral now, aren't we? On Champions Day, of course. I can see that Will on the chat says golden voice for me. A bit worried about the ground. You've taken it, stolen thunder there. You might remember we had a bit of banter about the fact I thought earlier in the season, maybe this was Haggis's Cambridgeshire horse. He got sunk at Redcar on a weekend where there was so much going on and pace just went against him that day. William thinks he's basically admired as the stretch of his stamina. So he went to York last time. They held him up in a race where 2 horses just didn't come back. He ran really well that day in 4th. There's still a big one in him. I love the way he's got grinding, actually keeps finding. Pace around him under Adam Farraher, claiming 5, one of the best £5 claimers around, that's for sure. I guess good to soft at Ascot. You shouldn't be too worried about it, should you?
Should be right.
No.
Good to soft's all right for a horse that might have a bit, not necessarily too much of a rounded action. I don't know. We'll find out about a bit about it
as well of all tracks.
3-year-olds don't do so well in this handicap. You might not be surprised to hear historically, but a big on voice for me. He is a project horse. So I'll be sticking with that, and Will's with me away. Let's hope he gets away with the ground. Kate Tracey, Baldomero's so close, and now who's going to go one better?
In the park, hopefully, to just maintain this Ascot record as well. I love this horse. I think it's a very fair price for. I mean, Saffie Osborne riding. She has already had a winner in our first race at Ascot as well.
She's great, isn't she?
Oh, she's just awesome.
Yeah.
And again, she's had the winners at the. I think she's second in the Racing League standings at the minute, actually. So yeah, Saffron is going great guns.
2 more racing leagues?
2, Southwell, and then back up to Newcastle.
You and Natty have been on the bandwagon now, haven't you?
It's been great. Yeah, been all over the shop. Yeah, Windsor was so much fun on Thursday. It was, it's been really good fun, to be fair. And Saf, she's got on great in it as well. Really been targeting it. But yeah, hopefully then for In the Park, obviously has just worked wonders since joining George Beaujard after previously being based with Mick Quinn then, of course, as well.
Yeah.
And he didn't finish out of the top 3 in his first 5 runs for this new stable. Obviously bring out the hat-trick in the Buckingham Palace Stakes at Royal Ascot over this track and trip as well. And that later success at Ascot obviously took it to 2 for 2 at this track. So hopefully, and the Stewards Cup I can completely forgive that.
He ran well there, didn't
he finished 3rd in his group on the wrong side, step back up in trip will suit him. Yeah, In the Park. I was between the course and distance performers of Fresh and him, but siding with In the Park.
Love it, and there's only one non-runner here. I'm thrilled to say the Attorney, so plenty of pace we're expecting across the track. Old favourites like Ropey Guest, Tactical in there, River Nymph, Accidental Agent,
we seen money for that yesterday, Accidental Angel. A lot of money for that yesterday, but quite weak on the Sportsbook 25 on the Betfair Exchange right now.
Documenting is there. We screamed him home when he won at Newbury last time we were on the show. He won this last year, but it was rattling fast. Last year on rattling fast ground. He's been very easy to back, probably because it's got a little bit deteriorated there. Graeme, Rodway.
Yeah, I fancy one at a price. Dance Fever. He was actually behind Documenting last time at Newbury, and he runs a similar race every
to
time.
beat him that day.
Yeah, he's always held up at the back, and he always comes with a late rattle. And he looked a bit unlucky when he attempted those tactics at Goodwood 2 runs ago behind Lindenby. He didn't really get a clear run. Then he went third in the final strides. I think that he's a massive price to make the places. At least we've got 16 runners here, haven't we? So we're looking at a good place book. And he runs consistently well, Dance Fever, and this
has run well at Ascot before, hasn't he?
Yeah, this course and distance suits those sort of tactics better than Newbury and Goodwood, and he's been running well at Newbury and Goodwood, so I'm expecting him to at least place at a huge price.
4-1 to finish in the top 5.
4-1 for the top 5. That's a big price because he does run consistently to a level every time he turns up.
He'd have gone low on the exchange at Newbury last time to beat Documenting as well, because he did travel in quite nicely. He just didn't quite get on with it. All right, okay. Dance Fever then.
40s on the exchange for the win. Dance Fever.
Lots of love with Kate on this, I could see in our community. Lots of Inver Park fans out there. Aratus is a horse that I've been trying to get over the line.
He didn't run in the race at Goodwood that we thought we were going to run in. Do you remember? Aratus was a horse that we...
Were we all on him for?
You said that, didn't you?
He was a big eye catcher over... I think it was course and
I believe
distance.
you actually said he wasn't that good.
Yeah, but I thought he had one race in him, and I thought it was going to be a Goodwood
Kate, you tell
last
him
week.
that's rubbish, isn't it?
I was on him last time out this Aratus. I thought last time was his day, and he ran fine. He ran well, but I've jumped off the bandwagon now.
Yeah, because I think that that was behind Fresh last time, wasn't it?
Frustrating.
They must have been tempted to go for that race that they ran in last year, or could they not just run? Or was it? I don't know. Maybe it was a 3-year contest or something. I don't know. But
3-year plus, no, it was.
Was it? So yeah, I mean, he must have been able to run that. So they must be thinking that maybe he can win this race instead. Otherwise, you wouldn't have bypassed.
If he goes and wins this now, after I've had him in the tracker, I know because Leicester did so much wrong. He was on the wrong part of a track. He was against the standside rail. He was way too keen. He got no cover.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, eye catcher straight away.
Yeah,
then
I remember that.
Ascot. Do you remember? Yeah, he was my cliff horse earlier
Drawn on a wing though, Dave.
Is he drawn on a wing?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not
Drawn on the wing.
is he?
Yeah.
Kate.
Yeah.
Shining Blue is very strong. That was matched at 14s into 92 now on the Betfair Exchange. Neil Callan.
Saeed bin Saror.
Yeah.
All went wrong after the Golden Mile, didn't it? They took him to York last time, and again, I don't know. He was wide again at York under Frankie, and it wasn't enough for me.
No,
Drawn 16. Got the plum
He is
draw.
a bit of a fresh horse, isn't he? No one going for Fresh then, despite the fact that's worked out rather well last time. Danny Tudhope getting back on.
I think the low draw against the top 2 Aratus, drawn 1 and 5 Fresh. I think you want to be drawn high here. Shining
That was the
Blue,
Orban
92.
race, wasn't it? Good old Orban. He's really shown his true colours, hasn't he? Star of Orion, of course, has got form with Fresh and all that lot as well. This is a proper race. Ropey guest in there for the Margisons. They ran a winner there yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Marvellous
Which one was
to
it
see,
again
isn't it?
yesterday?
Oh, was it Ideal Guest?
Ideal.
Yes, yeah.
Under
Little
Johnny
Vinnies,
Egan,
yeah.
Fantastic.
Battling back again.
If you don't follow the Margisons on Twitter, do it.
On TikTok.
It's a right old crack.
TikTok,
We're going to get Rosie on, I think, hopefully, before the end of the flat season. She's blinding value. All right, last one going in, or pretty much. And I'll do my best to call these home then.
Good luck.
Spread across the track. Good luck indeed. I might need it. Right, Shining Blue just about went off Fav, we think. He's come out on the near side behind Marc's Space Traveller. Tactical, former Royal Ascot winner. Who's up there?
They're going to the rail. They're going to come right up the rail. So it's going to be trouble in running.
Just to infuriate you, Ascot.
And there's no pace again.
Wow, there isn't. An Aratus is having a shocker.
be.
You're drawn on the wing, Kate, and he's pulling like a
That's fine, I don't want him. No, I've jumped off that. No, I'm in the park.
Off that
He can
project.
pull all
it's in
he
the park,
wants.
isn't it?
He can pull all he wants here.
Right, Kate, this is the theme of your afternoon.
Yes.
You've got the box seat again.
Yes.
You're going to be there in the finish.
If I don't
How
manage
can it
to
go
run.
wrong?
No, I'll find a way.
He's going really well, isn't he,
I
in the
will
park?
not
No
sound
pace, G.
Absolutely no pace, and lots of them are pulling their chances away, including my one.
Yeah,
Shining
accidental
Blue,
agent
very
out
keen.
the back. What's this? A Fresh right out the back as well. He's going to come down the middle along with Aratus. Star of Orion there as well. Golden Voice is going really well at the moment. Oh, yeah, he's on the rail, isn't he? Dance Fever. At the moment, it's Marc Hryhoskyi looking to get a big one in.
Now
Because leading on this near rail is Space Traveller. Look at River Nymph. He's the other. What's this in the red and black coming through? He's got no run whatsoever. He's absolutely cruising.
that
Jumped
is,
the gun for
jumped
Ian
the gun.
Jardine.
Here
Well,
comes
at the
the
moment,
Saeed.
it is the second Godolphin horse. Silent Film and Harry Davis. River
Star
Nymph is
of
after
Orton
him.
on the
Spade
outside.
Traveller's gone. Golden Voice hasn't got the pace for this.
Tactical.
Roby Guest not involved. Fresh
Tactical.
down the middle. Could he come and take it out? Fresh into
It's going to
Park.
be Ryan.
Oh, where's this going?
my
Tactical!
God.
Tactical on the near side.
God, this
Fresh
is
on
tight.
the far side.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness gracious me. And it is Godolphin just, I think.
No, I think Fresh has won.
Fresh on the
Has
far
he?
side, Danny Tudhope, yeah.
My
Very
old
close.
grand eyes let me down. They were
Trying to get
spread
the angle,
right
looking
across
at
the
it.
track there, guys. If you're watching this with us and not got
Oh,
any pictures.
yeah. It's wide open. There's 8 in line.
We're seeing a close up here. I thought Harry Davis had
Fresh-
just nicked it on
Fresh
the
has
line,
won,
but the
hasn't he?
cameraman's gone for Fresh.
Yeah, Fresh is
Yeah, he has. Yeah, fair play. Good shout, G, on the far side. So simple, isn't it? One at the on King George Day, of course, and now a horse that couldn't get it over the line has got that 1-1-1, and it'll be all roads leading to the Balmoral, I would imagine,
literally a length has covered the first 5 home.
including Ropey Guest, who just never runs a bad one at Ascot. Star of Orion, he's right back in form. River Nymph, who's won the Victoria Cup from memory. Tactical, a Royal Ascot winner on the near side. And Inver Park, if you were playing big places with Kate Tracey, you would have collected. He's had to switch, isn't it? It's funny, isn't it? They're all on the near side and all the action down the middle. Weird jockeys can be.
Yeah, and at Ascot, I mean, just this track in itself, isn't it? It's so hard. You can see why Tom Segal says about not complicating it with trying to find your draw.
Just
trying to
fancy
assess
the
it
horse.
beforehand. Exactly. Fancy the horse, fancy the form. You look towards the centre there, the 2 that have gone up there, whether or not that was the bias or whether or not those 2 were just, well, the course and distance form coming to the fore for Fresh again. It's tricky to even weigh up that's definitely, you wanted to be down the centre there by any means. But yeah, right horses to the fore though, really competitive as we hoped. And yeah, Fresh, you talked about that form working out well as well. So
Shall I tell you what I've noticed
There
is
you
we haven't seen too much of jockeys moving the pro cush to the backhand position yet.
no,
You
practicing, I thought we'd see loads of
You
that.
still see in that race all of the jockeys really using the pro cush in the forehand
While they
position,
can.
While they can. Now, of course, is it just a couple of months? It's not very long now, is it?
September? No,
Yeah.
no, we're in September,
We're in
sorry.
September.
When is it?
But it's soon when that, of course, will be outlawed.
Yeah.
And you will have to use it in the backhand position, which be interesting to see. Because, I mean, the winning jockey actually put his whip down and just pushed out hands and heels.
Well, Danny Tudhope. Just, again,
very good.
people get annoyed when you say rides tracks so well, but
Oh, he's very good. Isn't he?
Give it a peach.
yeah, but it's
ridiculous,
just
isn't
a
it?
fact.
and let's watch the run through because we've got about 15 minutes until our Group 1 of the day comes up at Haydock next time. I mean, lack of pace early. They're all on the far side. He's exactly where you don't want to be according to the jockeys.
Yeah, and you can see the lack of pace in the finish because they've all literally finished on top of each other almost.
Yeah.
You know, even the ones that were coming from miles off the pace, they had
They had
absolutely
no
no
chance,
chance
yeah.
of getting into that race. It's just a rare Ascot race where they've gone no pace and it's actually proven to be suitable to be more near the front.
Shining Blue was too keen, pulled its chance away. I think the second's ran a big race, Silent Film, for Harry Davis. That was BSP 60s, went as low as 3-1 in the run. Heads up, heads down. It's interesting, I'm not so sure about Space Track there. I've had every chance on the inside. Just
Yeah,
fade
he's
away.
hung- he's hanging a bit, isn't he?
hanging her, isn't he?
But then
Accidental
Tactical's
Agent,
running on.
watch the orange cap. We're watching
Yeah.
it back, guys, basically final 2 furlongs. He runs really well. I don't know, I mean, maybe he's been doing this of late, I don't know, but he's run very well, all considered. And the fire still burns bright. I bet they're working back from the Balmoral with him.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
Guest came there.
There's still a
get the
couple of
social.
races yet, aren't there?
Oh, there we go, look. Darren Walker. This is interesting, Darren. Welcome along, old boy. Could Fresh run on a heavy ground Champions Day sprint at 6 furlongs?
Maybe.
It's Fanshawe, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. Could happen. There's still a couple of these big races to come, aren't
Yeah.
there? There's another one at Ascot just before the Champions Day. I think 2 weeks before Champions Day
Yes.
or 3, where they completely changed the configuration.
It's Beer
of the track.
Festival Day, that, isn't it?
I
at
think
Ascot?
this is Beer Festival.
Oh, is it?
Because I considered going yesterday.
Quelle surprise.
Yeah, I should have given you a shout, Dave, seeing as you're
Well,
only
we could
down
hot
there.
foot it, could we, for
Yeah,
the next couple?
we can finish off the last of the Owls. What do you think?
Well, I'm tempted. I'm tempted.
Yeah, but he
all right.
finished third at that meeting though on heavy ground last year, Fresh.
What, in the handicap? In the back? Was that? What was
No,
it?
in some handicap.
let's have a look.
Heritage handicap. It had a name last year.
Oh, it was behind Eldari, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're not afraid.
Proper form that now when you look back, isn't it? You're right. So it's the Challenge Cup, basically, that comes up next. So a lot of these horses, they go on. It's a great series, you know. And you find your eye catchers, and if you've been on something that it's been held up, put a line through it, give it another chance. Basically, you might get some value coming up. What was the Betfair SB there, Mark, in the end?
BSB, I think it was about 8.6, if I recall correctly. No, it's went off 7 to 1. It's quite weak. All the money was for Shining Blues, went off 508, around 4 to 1. Again, pulled its chance away, that one. Maybe you want to be in the centre of the track. Maybe the bias has changed. Star of Orient, that one's went quite low as well. I think that one's went odds on in the run for Rob Hornby, was right next to Fresh. That one's traded as low. Yeah, it did go odds on. That one's traded very low. That one's traded at 2 to 5 and running on the far side, and it's finished third in the end.
There's a good horse running in one of the later races there. If it's still there, they might have pulled it out, I don't know. Yeah, the 420 I'm looking for. So Michael Stout's got a horse called Crystal Caprice in it, who's on a hat-trick. A filly that they think might be pattern class, but she's got to give £2 away to a horse called Tarab of Owen Burrows, who I think is a very good horse, and I think they think it's a very good horse as well. So second favourite for me, 420 when we come off air. I shall be watching that on the way home. If you want a little tip for Ascot,
Group horse and handicap, Dave, is it?
What's that?
Group horse and handicap?
Both the top two could be. It's a tasty race, but I'm getting a bit of value against it. And
4.2.
I'll take on the Caprice.
Okay.
All right, okay. All right, we literally zoom into Berkshire, and now we've got to go back up to St Helens because it is Group 1 time. Let's build up, shall we? 10 minutes, if they're off at time, until the Sprint Cup. Get your selections in. Where do you want to be on the track? To my money, especially when a little bit of rain has fallen, which it seems to have done at Haydock, it often goes to horses that are up there. We're going to pick the bones out of it once Marc Hryhoskyi gives us the market update.
Yeah, looking at this race just now, the 230 Haydock, the big one, and Naval Crown leads the betting, 4.1. Minzal out to 5.3. That was the original favourite, but it's drifting now, not massively, but nearly out to 9 to 2. Emirati Anna, this one's been quite steady, 8.2 around the 7 to 1 mark. But the one I do like, it's a bit of a price. We're going to back this one on the exchange. It's currently 80s on the sportsbook, but it's a big price. It's 150. It's quite like Kevin Ryan's Halal Afmina.
Now, if ever you were going to get an education on the pronunciation of a horse, Marc,
that was it.
Hala. Right, okay, so I honestly think this was a big eye catcher in the Commonwealth Cup. 3 lengths behind Perfect Power. Had Clive Cox's Wings of War 6 lengths behind that day. That ran on well last time I was on.
Yeah, it did. Up to 7 furlongs.
Yeah, it was an unlucky loser behind Jumbie. Willing to put a line for that run at York. I think at 160s, I think this one's overpriced. So we're going to back this win in additional place. We'll have 20 on at 160s, and we'll have the rest. Actually, you know what? Actually, we'll go for 10 because I know I'm restricting now to £25 stakes. So we'll have 10 on the win to knock out 1500, and we'll back this one in the 5-place market. We'll have 15 on at 12 to 1, 11 to 1. I'll have that one on.
Okie dokie, Marc.
Good to go. Yeah, I just think the stable coming into a bit of form. I just think this one's massively overpriced.
Do you know what? I've had a tiny bit on her, but just because she's a bit of a project for us, isn't she, G?
If Afmani wins this race, then we are not doing the last race at Ascot. It's an absolute walk-off moment. We're going to drop the mic and we're walking off. And Marc
in the studios went
Hala.
Barry Orr's never coming back. We're all going to bow and go hala. So Marc,
Hala Athmani it is, a talented filly somehow the outside of the lot. Well, I'll tell you what, shall we go and reverse all of them, because I fancied a second outside of the lot, according to the exchange at the minute. It was great. I mean, it's literally like lost a leg out of the money, isn't it, on the exchange. I thought Chill was grossly overlooked in the market. A horse that I have not been with so far this season.
50s on the Betfair Exchange.
May I make a case?
Yeah. You may.
Well, thank you, Kate. First time tongue tie on. Massive eye catch on its return, went 8th. Didn't go to plan probably in the Goodwood showpiece. And then third last time at Pontefract. A lot of people disappointed with that because she was favourite in the race. That is not her track, as Andrew Balding says in his comments to us in this morning's paper. And it's a front runner's track, and something made all, Princess Shabnam or something. She ran actually all right. It put her back on track, showed the engine's still there. This is more of her track. She was beaten less than a length than Emirati Anna in the race last year. Ideally, she likes a sound surface, so I still think it's all right. And at 40 to 1 with Hayley Turner on the first time tongue tie, drawn in stall 16, I was hoping Brad the Brief would give us a toe. That's a slight worry. But if Emiratiana's going to be up there in 13, I'm looking for something else. I mean, maybe Flaming Rib, Haley might be looking to attach onto that, something like that. I don't know. Carden might go forward, hopefully. Maybe Harry 3, I'm not sure. But honestly, I looked at this like Marc, and I saw very little between the market leaders. The one I didn't like, actually, is the one that the market's now screaming for. It's Naval Crown. My theory is... Oh, hang on a minute. We might be going head-to-head here, me and Tracey. All right. Well, I wondered... You can tell me why then, Kate, I'm wrong. Oh, no. I wondered whether he had his chance last time in the Highfield Princess French Sprint, where I thought you wanted to be handy in that race. She's actually proved that to be wrong, actually. And Minzar was ahead of him. I wonder whether he'd been on the go a bit too long, Naval Crown.
How do you think? See, I still think he has more to offer over the 6. I thought it was
he
the
might
ground.
do.
So that's
but is it this year?
The brain hasn't got into the ground.
Oh, yeah, okay.
As much here. I think quicker surface, see him to a better effect here, more to offer over 6. He'll be... Well, as much of his pace angle, of his own pace angle from stall 5 as any others, really. So he'll be bang there on the front end as well. I still haven't forgiven him for ruining my Creative Force Platyjubes party when he raced, again, Ascot bias, against the downside, against the near side then when I thought it was up the centre you wanted to be. Came and hoodwinked them all over the top as well.
Oh, hoodwinked. It's great to say that, isn't it?
It's a great word. And he's just a fascinatingly profiled horse in general, considering he was starting out over the 7 and a mile. And he's just really found that pace now over the 6. So, I mean, that was only his first try over the 6 in this country after trying it in Meydan, of course, and previously too. But he proved it was no fluke when in the July Cup, did he, behind Alcohol Free? So.
That's just about the way in. You've done it again. I was going to say that's the one which showed that he deserves to be here.
Yeah.
I just wonder whether something is going to find something from nowhere and do it. Graeme Rodway.
I hope so, yeah. Harry Free. I've backed Harry Free.
The Cox.
The Clive Cox trained
missile.
Horse. Yeah, obviously improving 3-year-old. I think that this is a race that horses often build up to and they reach their peak. And I just wonder if Harry Free's been doing this. Obviously, he was disappointing last time at Deauville. But previously, he'd looked a real horse on the up. He'd won big handicap at York in quite a good time. Then he went on to win at Deauville by a wide margin. And I just thought that he was the sort of progressive, up-and-coming sprinter against a bunch of more exposed types. Of course, though, Dave, I've had a little bit on Hala Hala.
We will be chanting for Hala Hala. She came from the wing last time as well at York. She had absolutely no chance whatsoever. So, look, we're giving Hala Hala a bit of a Cartmel reception here, aren't we? But
what do we make of Minzal?
Well, we'll get to that after we see what the crowd like. Marc like Shark coming back on. I've got massive again, Dubai Legend at 40-1. Horse that looked absolutely lost, didn't it? Dropped back to sprinting last time, showed his true colours. And Andy Sean, one of our regulars, comes on and says, Andy, I need Emiratiana each way. Why, Andy? Let me know, I'll be looking. Why? Have we got it in an acca? Ooh. Bidding to become only the second horse in the race's history to win back-to-back Sprint Cups. We've had back-to-back Old Borough winners. We've had back-to-back Stewards Cups. We've had back-to-back Wokenhams.
Yeah, it's been a weird year, hasn't it?
Really weird.
It's been a weird year. That was a weird race, that Old Borough. But Dubai We Legend. Yeah, interesting going back in trip, isn't he? Dubai We Legend. Quite interesting going back in trip. He was running over like a mile, and he actually ran a native trail. Did he not run him quite close?
Say that again.
Last year.
What's the horse called?
What?
What's the horse called?
Dubai Legend.
Dubai Wee, you called it. Dubai Wee.
Dubai
What is
Wee.
it about these pronanciations?
That's because there is the other horse, isn't there? That is.
Kate Tracey.
Dubai Legend.
Yeah.
You're the phonics man about Kansas. Do you think this has got half a chance then?
Well, I was following it early in the year, and I thought that he had the class to be involved when he went down in trip, and then he did go down trip. Was it?
It's the native trail thing.
Baden or somewhere.
It would be some poetic justice for Ross Coakley as well after he got the, in my opinion, very unjustifiable. I just had to Google
ban,
how many days.
yeah.
23-day ban because in Germany you can't. It counts if you hit them down the. Strike them down the neck, even with a hand on the rein. When he only actually gave him 4, and it was just as clear-cut a ride as you could ever wish to see. But the stewards didn't take that and took away half the prize money as well, wasn't it?
Did they? Wow.
And a 23-day ban.
A lot of
as
people
well.
saying ridiculous ban with you, Kate. There actually.
So this would be some poetic justice for that.
Big price, 50s, chill 50s, and halal, 180s.
There's the Naval Double, of course, which Steve M is on. I can see the Naval Power going on to Naval Crown.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get sunk.
Get a boil over here. Fancy a boil over here.
Waiting all day
Big
to get in the
price winner.
pub.
Yeah. But Minzal, I was a horse that I think is coming to form at the right time.
If you've not been with him, you're definitely jumping on now, aren't you?
You got to
He's a
remember,
bandwagon.
last year he ran 2 of his best races right at the back end, didn't he, at Ascot? I think he finished 3rd in that Champions Sprint, was it? And he's a horse who kept blowing the start, and he did a lot of things wrong, and I think they're finally getting to the bottom of him.
Loads of time for Owen Burrows,
Yeah.
as I've said about that next race coming up at Ascot. But
I could definitely see him winning this.
I liked his
Definitely.
comments to us, Owen. He said, we had excuse at Ascot, and I thought, hang on a minute, because I remember watching that and saying to Barry when he was in, I said, didn't look like a horse that was loving life to me at Ascot. They put the cheap pieces on, Owen said, and he went too well through the race of a hot pace. Forgive him that, and actually if you do, when it won the Hackwood, which is always, you know, on one of those weekends where it's like, oh, it's the Hackwood, but it tends to be always a race that's a pinpointed towards some of our bigger sprints. And in France last time, mitigating circumstances potentially for giving him another chance. I haven't done it, but I must admit he would be on my shortlist. Marc, Hryhoskyi, of the main fancies, I mean, what's gone on with Art Power? Every man and his dog was tipping him at the start of the week to me.
He's 9.28 to 1 on the Betfair Exchange for Tim Easterby. Emirati Anna's quite weak. That's out to 9 to 1. That one was around 8.6 earlier. Harry 3, a bit of support for that in the 22s. Debawai, legend, 40s.
Don't let him get in your head.
Yeah,
Don't let him get in your head.
Listen, I think this has got boiler written all over it. I want to be against the top 2 in the betting here.
Well, let's historically look at the SPs that do this. It was a sort of like, it had that favourites renaissance when Quiet Reflection, you remember Carl Burt's crap mare?
Yeah.
She won it.
Crap.
Crack.
Oh, I thought he said that as well. I suddenly convulsed. Sorry, I heard that as well.
Crack mare. Harry Angel was one of my favourite winners of the race. I got involved in that down heavy ground. And he just showed them the way and see you later. And the Tin Man I backed at 7 to 1 on heavy ground. Do you remember him when he won it? Hello, Hume Zane. You had the temerity to look at Adam Ryan in the eyes and tell him he was useless. He then went and won this. And then you got your own back, of course, a year later when Dream of Dreams saw him off. Yeah. It was a great horse, Dream of Dreams. Everyone loved Dream of Dreams because he spent his life not knowing what he was, and then Sir Michael found the absolute key to him. Oshie Murphy had a lot to do with that as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then, of course, Kevin Ryan. He's going for basically a 3rd win in the last 4 years with Emirati Anna just seeing off Starman. Everyone thought it was Starman's party. We spoke to Ed Walker the day before. Oh, it just got nutted, didn't he? But Emirati Anna, 2nd from the none, thought it's a very good race, isn't it? And
Not
so it
many
should
to
be
go.
the
We've got one to go.
Betfair Sprint Cup. Not long to go. Yeah, they're going in.
They can't make their mind up at the top of the bang here.
Devo says, "Come on."
Hala.
Come on, Devo. He loves G-Rod, does Devo. All right, come on, hala, Athmani. All right, where's she drawn? She's drawn high, isn't she?
10.
Good luck, whichever way you play. They're off and running. And I'll tell you what, Art Power wasn't great away. He's just recovered okay, stumbled slightly. What's that on the far side? Dubai Legend, not great away either. Right, okay, they're going far side then. So if you're high, you have to hope you've got a bit of cover. Because Go Bears Go and Art Power are eyeballing.
Plenty of pace on here.
Naval Crown's there, Emirati Anna's there. Hala, Athmani at the back, guys. Let's have a look for Chill. Not getting any cover, Chill. Cardim out the back. Harry 3 out the back as well. Kate Tracey, who'd you like with 2 furlongs to run?
This is
My
quite
horse.
right, G.
Yeah, it's going well. Go on, Hala.
Look at Chill's running an absolutely massive race here. We're around about the 2 furlong pole. He's being smuggled in, guys.
Come on, Paul.
What's going to do it? Come on then. Look at Minzal. He's absolutely cruising.
Art
Minzal.
Power
If he gets the
is
gap,
going well.
he's going to shot at him. Emirati Anna's there. Harry 3 trying to come through. What's this
Wide
on the far
open.
side?
Wide
Minzal's
open.
going to take this, guys, I think.
Here comes
Chill's
Minzal.
an absolute star.
Emirati Anna.
To be beaten.
Yeah, come on, Kevin.
Hackwood Stakes winner.
That's a
coming through
cracker.
the
Minzal's
race. Rohan's
away.
as well.
Minzal.
Chill's on a
Minzal.
blinder. But it's going to be Minzal, gets his Group 1, Owen
easy.
Burrows, and doesn't he win like a horse that's
Goodness
been
me,
waiting
yeah.
to show his best. Emirati Anna about 5 lengths back in 2nd, and it looked like Rohan, the durable Rohan, Holly Doyle jumping on that one, getting the 3rd place. Marc, he was screaming for a run, a furlong out, didn't he get one?
Absolutely bolted up. It was quite weak on the Betfair Exchange all day, and on the Sportsbook went off about 4.8 around the 7 to 2 mark. But yeah, absolutely hacked up there. Big run from Rohan. I think he's just been done for 2nd, has he? Oh, I think Emirati Anna's got 2nd.
Yeah, it's run a blinder. Flaming Rib 4th, Chill 5th.
I think the distress signals were out from Naval Crown quite early. That one didn't go short. I think that one, how short did that one go? That one went 9 to 4 for £185 and running. I thought we had a chance there with Hala. was coming there on the
She just
snap.
got bogged down a bit, I think,
Yeah,
didn't
just
she?
bogged down.
She's run all right.
She's hit 63s in running. Just didn't find much, but yeah, Menzel, very impressive winner for Jim Crowley. And
Can
Owen
you win
Burns.
an Air Gold Cup off a mark of 107?
Maybe.
The draw would be
I think
important
they'll
there.
get a claimer
Maybe.
on Chill, who's run 5th there. She doesn't want to race like that. She was bang there, and she got no cover from that draw. Keep with that one. I'm quite happy with that run. Got top 5 as well. Nice. Okay, all right. Who had it?
Yeah,
Minzal.
superb, wasn't it? That.
A lot of
Easy.
people since was it run in the middle part, wasn't it, as a 2-year-old?
Yeah.
Let's go back and chart his career.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Second to Supremacy. It seems like
He
such.
win
a
the
long
Jim
time ago.
Crack, did he? I think maybe.
He won the Jim Crack. Yeah, he won the Jim
So-
Crack. He had a big injury layoff. He then got beaten by Ascot by Tis Marvellous on soft ground, and then he went, of course, to the Champions Day Stakes last year on his second run of the season, finished 3rd. That's when everyone thought he had such a big future ahead of him. Highfield Princess has been annoying him, as has Go Bears Go. He got revenge on Go Bears Go, of course, at Newbury, and he's just shown what he's all about, and it's great to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like we were saying before the race. Like this race, the horses tend to build up to it, and then they explode onto the scene with a great performance. And that was a great performance by Minzal, far better than anything we've seen from him before. He's 2 118s RPRs. I would expect that's well up in the 120s. And he can only go on again, couldn't he? You see him turning up now for that champion sprint at Ascot.
Yeah,
and he's
gotta
going to
go
be
there,
a
I think.
red hot
He's certainly
favourite
not
for that. I
rushing.
would have thought on the back of that
I'm
impressive
just seeing
win.
a sea of blue at the minute. I was waiting for if we
Very
had any
impressive.
sort of prices for champion
Very
sprints.
good.
Oh,
Very
okay,
good.
Tracey, no flies on you.
I just show
Straight
you
off the navel and straight
Get
onto
some.
Minzal.
Just don't mind me a second, just clicking away.
Yeah, all right. We got one more to come here on Racing Post Live. It is the Lavazza Stakes back at Ascot. Of course, we do go. It's a mile 4 race for future group horses, and Godolphin have got a hot pod in it, as well as about 5 others in the race. But we'll get to that. Marc, have we got any anti-post prices on the sportsbook for Champions Day, the Champions Day sprint, please?
Yeah, I'm just loading that up just now. I'm going to give the Highfield Princess form a boost as well. So that
She
one's
loves
hit since
Ascot,
well.
doesn't she?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just load up that for you just
Not
now.
Highfield.
I'm going to guess it'll be around about 5 to 2.
We'll see if you're right.
I would have thought it'd be favourite now. Definitely.
Yeah, he's looking into snap. Yeah, he's cheating. Yeah, he's cheating.
I was just going to nod along as I'm
a
looking
cheat, isn't it?
literally at the exact price. So
I'm going to guess it's going to be about 5 to 2.
Just
Ross,
about,
come up
give
with.
or take,
That would be that in my book. And I tell you what, I feel Princess might be a run of it.
Yeah, we're 5 to 2. You can get about
Oh,
a
you
5
are?
to 1 with Sky, but yeah.
what do you
you
know?
never
Listen,
knew.
I'll give you 11 to 4, Dave. Okay?
You will.
I'll give you 11
You
to 4.
heard that
yeah.
here.
Give
Would you?
11 to 4.
Is that a price you'd be interested in, G? Or
Oh, I thought it was very impressive. 5 to 1. I could see him being shorter than that on the day, depending on who turns
horses
up.
go from this to that, don't they?
Oh,
You
absolutely.
dream dreams. Hello, Humes.
Well, yeah, and sprinters, like they come to their peak at certain points in their career. We saw it early in the season. Naval Crown was absolutely bang at his best. He was disappointed there. Now Minzal is really stepping up. I think you'll see him go on again.
Oh, I'd love to see that because we're desperate for one, aren't we? And Perfect
Yeah.
Power's jury's out on him a bit, isn't it?
Highfield Princess, still 5 to 1.
Yeah, that's the
Betfair
solid
Sports
bet.
book.
She loves Ascot.
Yeah.
Think she reverses
She
the
often
form,
wants a
Menzel?
rail, but
I think the issue with Highfield Princess is she's quite a speed angle, and
Yeah.
they'll go quite fast in that race. I wonder if she might
Glenn
get.
Shield won it from the front, didn't he?
Yeah.
Jane will just sitting behind.
Yeah, I could see him stalking her.
Yeah.
Of course, Highfield did beat Minzal earlier in the season
Yeah.
at York, but that was
And in France.
And Deauville last
yeah,
time.
that was 100%. 100% he wasn't right that first time out at York. Like they gave him a sighter for the rest of the season.
I've been
but,
writing about Deauville for God knows how many years, like a lot of people. But for some reason, I've been getting my tongue twisted a bit with it. Should I just like think of dough as in like bread and then call it Ville? Is that the way to say it?
Why,
Deauville.
what were you saying before?
I don't know. Deauville.
Deauville.
I don't know. I was going
Cruella.
Deauville.
I'm the
I
last
just
person
got
to be
I got a
honest
bit
with
muddled up with it.
I'd love
Just
to
take
go
on
there.
our accents with everything at the minute. Deauville.
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 Dough. I
St.
think of the
Cloud,
Pillsbury
Deauville.
Doughboy and all that
It's supposed
sort
to be
of
really
thing.
nice, isn't it? All the posh
Yeah.
people.
It's supposed to
go
be.
there.
Bruce
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
tells it's the one you've got to go to.
Yeah, I'd love to go. Maybe one year. We used to have Racing Post used to host a party at Deauville years ago, and unsurprisingly, I never got invited.
That's
And
why
then-
Bruce loves it.
And then ever since, I don't think since COVID, I think it bit the dust. But I'd love to go. If
So we've
anyone's
got a
listening.
petition for a Group 1
Yeah.
jockey game on the PlayStation again, and another
Yeah.
Racing Post party, please, at
And please,
Deauville.
please, will you let me come to Deauville for the party one day?
I'm sure they
That'd
will.
be good.
I'm sure they will. All right, we are around about 7 minutes away from our last. Well done. If you went for the class,
Yeah, well done. Yeah.
wasn't he absolutely shattering? And well done to Owen Burrows, who I'm hoping will win the 420 at Ascot. Before that, we've got the Lavazza. It was first ruler when I looked who was favourite, but Marc Hryhoskyi. He has got pressure.
Hryhoskyi for William Haggis, and your man Adam Farragher on board. He's taking off 5. But the one I did like is Charlie Appleby's Al Nafir. Harry Davis takes a ride, second behind Judith at Newmarket. I think it's a strong piece of form. 50 the easy winner, Soulcome in the Melrose. Fortunately, we didn't get to see that one on today. If we could back it up, but I think that's a strong piece of form. No concerns. Step back and trip. Harry Davis taking off the 3 off 89. I think can be competitive here. It's currently 9s on the Betfair Exchange right now, so we've got no extra place on offer on the Betfair Sportsbook. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Betfair Exchange capabilities. So we'll have a tenner on at 9s on the Betfair Exchange, and we'll back this one in the 4th place market. We've got that capability on the Betfair Exchange. We'll have 15 on at 2.44, so roughly around the 6-4 mark. Be a price taker there, £21.60 profit, and we're matched as well. So Al Nafir for the final race at Ascot today.
Okay, one of how many for Godolphin?
He's got a few in the
5,
race.
isn't it?
Ryan Moore, interesting jockey booking, but that one's been quite weak. That one was favourite around the 7-2 mark on the Betfair Sportsbook earlier, but it's quite weak on the Betfair Exchange at 5.2.
He's had 22 rides, Ryan Moore for Charlie Appleby, 5 of 1, so 22.7 strike rate. And he's got no worries with that. I thought First Ruler was the one to be with. I thought he could have had cheap pieces. I think are fine on this horse. His last win's worked out extremely well, I think. Let me just get it up. He's in stall 9, which if you look at the excellent Kevin Morley's trends, and again, they do tell you, the jocks, don't they, over a mile 4, you want to be wide at Ascot. He's in stall 9. He beat a horse called Etonian. You might remember of Richard Hannon's. He looked like he wanted this trip. The 3rd has won, and a horse called Scampi has come out and won 2 from that as well. And he's definitely a group horse that's in a handicap. Mark, a 96 First Ruler for me. Quite like the fact he's not favourite now. That's gone to La Yakel.
What do you think of that form? I don't think the Southwell form's that great for the favourite, the Haggis horse.
It's just getting it handicapped, Mark, I would say. If ever you've got a horse of that calibre that goes for a 3rd run somewhere quiet, it's because he wants a slightly quieter mark.
That's a good race though. It's competitive.
Yeah, I think he'll win Loya Kill.
He's got the secret state form, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's my idea of the winner, Loya Kill. I thought that although it was a very, very poor race, and the time wasn't great at Southwell, he did put a lot of distance between himself and the rest off a slow pace, which I like, because off a slow pace, as we've seen, usually off slow paces you get finishes that are often bunched. So if you are able to get a horse who's able to separate themselves from the field off a slow pace, usually gives an indication that they've got a fair degree of ability, which of course he needs to have. Like Mark says, there's a much stronger race, of course, than the one that he won't run in. But he's running off 87, but Adam Farragher's claiming the 5, isn't he? And he's well worth the 5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's likely raced William Haggis flying along. I think that he's the one to beat, but I can definitely see the argument for First Ruler. This actually is a fantastic race every year.
Yeah.
It's always a really, really strong 3-year-old handicap that usually throws up plenty of winners.
And we've covered it the last couple of years. Remember Chalkstream winning for Haggis last year. He's gone down under.
Yeah.
Another one.
And another one. And I've been watching him down there. You might be surprised to hear.
That doesn't surprise me.
He's started falling out the gates and blowing the starts and things. He's had them absolutely tearing their hair out for Her Majesty down there. It was won by a horse called Shandoz the year before that, who justified favouritism for Rog at Parade. Before that, First 11 for Mr. Gosden, who I'm going to come to in a second. Duke of Bronte for the horse.
Yeah, Millman.
The horse yard that can't win races.
Yeah, kind of all useless.
Godolphin have got obviously quite a good record in this as well. It's usually it's the old Rolly Cup, isn't it, on Future Champions Day, isn't it? There's the final valuable 3-year-old handicap.
We've got a few good races coming up, haven't we? Like you said earlier, we've got like the St Ledger and then the Future Champions and those big meetings, the Cambridgeshire and the Arc.
Yeah.
Good time, isn't it?
It is absolutely great time. We're back up and running. Let's see out this first season.
Only 5 weeks left at Cheltenham, you know.
It's like next month, isn't it?
About 5 or 6 weeks to Cheltenham.
Yeah. You're mentioning the C word. A few people are doing that at home as well. Kate Tracey, you've had a few near misses. A couple over the line, but you've had a couple of big price places. You've got one final stab. Who's it going to be?
With you. I'm with you
delighted
with
to
First
hear
Ruler here. Yeah, I've liked everything. Oh, yeah, group horse and a handicap for me as well. Then I think the step up in triple suit him. top class pedigree as you would expect from Gay family.
Yeah.
And he's just done very little wrong for me in all 4 of his starts so far. Even on that penultimate outing when he finished second, he was penalised. He was giving £16 to his own stablemate then within that, who looks pretty smart in himself, making his racecourse debut. So, yeah, and then obviously threw into the handicap last time out at this track, over the 10, and he was hitting the line well there. So, yeah, I just think he remains on a very fair mark for this handicap.
Me and Kate in tandem then. The one that I was tempted to back, and I got him finally. I say finally because it does seem like a long time since Fantastic won again at Newbury. Oh my God, this is a big old gangling baby of a horse. This is Cracksman's brother, of course.
Yeah.
He's massive. He's huge like Cracksman. Of course, this is Cracksman's finest hour, was it here when he won the Champions League?
Yeah. No, he's got like he's got a huge rating, hasn't he, Cracksman? Like because of those times when he was very in and out horse, wasn't he?
But when he won that Champions League,
yeah.
I think it was Crystal Ocean he beat that day, wasn't it? Or was it Poet's Word or something like that? I was on the second and just went, give up. Yeah. He was very, very good on his day. Well, this one started off in behind Westover at Sandown. I know a lot about him because I tipped him up in the Naps competition when he made his return in a handicap at Sandown over a mile 2, and he got an inside run and they held him up a little bit, tried to teach him something. He never really looked like winning, but you could tell that the big payday was coming. Frankie looked after him, educated him. Frankie was fantastic on him at Newbury last time when he looked beaten again, looks like a horse screaming out for a mile 4. They put the cheap pieces on him, Haviland's on from stall 5. He would be the one that I'm worried about, so I'm going to have a little saver on him as well. But La Yakel, I do see where we're coming from on this. He probably could be destined for some big targets. This is a decent race.
Yeah, there could be some group horses in there.
I think pretty much all are, aren't they?
Yeah. If you say group horse in a handicap, like you say, you can actually say that the majority of
this is almost a group handicap.
Yeah,
it's that good.
It is. You know, with
every year
going at it.
Should we have group handicaps in this country?
Yes.
Oh, straight away. Put his hand up, didn't
Yeah, definitely should.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
A lot of our revision now of the race names, we're not allowed to have either in jump racing are graded handicaps.
Yes, I don't mind them at all though, do we?
But what are they called now? Or they've been changed.
Have they been changed?
You know, the grade 3
got to get our heads
2.5
around
mile
all
handicap
around this.
chases we have at Cheltenham every time. They're not called.
They're
that
not called
anymore,
grade
but,
3s.
No, they're not allowed.
No, they sort of slipped them in when they didn't think anyone would be looking, and it got blown up, didn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't remember what you have.
You've got to have 40 runs as a novice now to get into the handicaps instead of the 3. You've got a top 4 in the Potemps. Oh, don't go there. Can't win in 6 bumpers. Yeah, well. Marc, as we were all digressing and going on the fun tangents, I saw you feverishly looking at the market. What's been happening?
Yeah, it's not really moved. Laia Keel 4.7, earned 7-2. First Ruler 5.1, not really moved either. Alna Fear Strong at 9-1. There's not really any market movers outside it, but we'll see how this one
All right, the
unfolds.
Spotlight Verdicts is agreeing with the danger for me. Fantastic there for you. All right. Out double cherry, of course. We ran out the mile 6 behind Nathaniel Green last time at Haydock. He's not without a chance at all. He's right out the back, along with Mandobi, another big horse for the Haggises. William.
He's been a bit disappointing, Mandobi, hasn't he?
Well, he has a little bit. It's been some tough tasks. And first time tongue tie on for him, along with First Ruler, who I'm looking for, Kate, who's just been chivied for a position from his wide draw.
Yeah, keeping him wide, wasn't he, Ryan, there earlier on? So,
we're looking for the tactics.
Bad,
it looks like Blue Trail was thought to be the sacrificial lamb, but he's really putting Neil Cannon's legs out there.
Yeah, completely.
Wild Crusade on the outside as well. It's not often we see the Godolphin.
No,
they've got so many, they've got a starred cap on.
Yeah.
5 to chuck at this Charlie, have to be 4 of us.
I'll tell you what, if you're on chairman, you took a chance on Rob Hornby, the dual Group 1 winning jockey this season. You're thrilled because he's got a lovely position. Fantastic's got a lovely position. Sandstorm, Safi and Alice Haynes.
Laia Keel's very well sold. That's 5-2 and running on the Betfair Exchange right now.
Okay. I don't know really where you want to be. I always think at the Royal Meeting with these handicaps, G, you want to be up there.
Do you? No, I always want to be behind. I don't like it when they go too fast early over this round track.
They've slowed it down now on the far side, Kate, haven't they?
Yeah, they definitely look as though they have done, but at the same time, Blue Trail has also managed to settle, so that's probably just, helped on that basis.
All right, all to play for then on the far side, Marc Hryhoskyi.
Yeah, Laia Keel's still favourite, 11-4, 3.65. First Ruler, 7-2. Ryan Moore is in the box seat here, no excuses for First Ruler.
All right, okay. Anything sending out to... I guess if you're on Wild Crusade, you're thinking, how wide do you want to go, bro? But But
The
he's
one that's
rowing
gone quite
away
well is
now.
Chairman for Rob Hornby.
Sandstorm the outside. Now, look at this horse in third. He might cause some problems for some horses on the inside. But at the moment, it is Blue Trail. He's the horse that famously nutted William Buick on Derby Day. Do you
Rob
remember
Hornby's
that?
gone well
First
here.
ruler perfectly placed. Fantastic coming.
Come on.
Kel is the danger,
This is travelling.
guys.
This is travelling. Come on,
The two
Laya
market
Kel.
leaders are going to see this out. Kate, we are in pole position. Have we gone too soon? That's the question.
Go on.
Look at this, Adam
Go on,
Farrell.
you good thing.
Come on, first ruler, keep grinding. Perhaps there might be some
First
temperament
ruler.
issues. Away he goes, first ruler.
got first run.
There as
We've got
well.
first run,
Naya
first
Kel.
ruler, first
He's
ruler.
drifted to the far side.
Come on,
Kate, come on,
first
this
ruler.
is it.
He's gonna
No,
get there.
he got this, Kate.
He's
We've
gonna
got
get there.
one yet.
Come on.
No, Naya Kel's
there.
coming.
Come on.
Here he goes. I don't believe it.
Come on.
We're going to get done.
He's
What's
gonna
the
get
finish in the
there.
last?
Come on.
He's still there on the inside, but it looks like Yaya Kel's going to
Got
come over
there.
the top. That £5 claim worth its weight in
Yeah.
gold. First ruler only third in the end, having gone low. Chairman in second run of the race. 3 come clear in a sizzling hot form race from Double Cherry, who ran on. Story of your day, Kate.
Oh, isn't it just...
Crossbar
isn't
again.
it just another crossbar? Oh, what do they say? Don't change it, though.
No,
Don't
it means
change
your
your approach.
means your
you're in the
radar's right,
area.
doesn't it?
But I thought we got first run and
He rode that quite confidently, didn't he? The winner.
very
How much?
confidently.
He must have
Hit a
Others-
flat spot and went
yeah,
on.
Adam Farrah.
Oh, he's
yeah,
a
very
beautiful
good,
looking
though.
horse, isn't he, when you look at him? We
Yeah.
called it turning in, guys, if you're watching with us, and I said, look at this guy. Have we got first run on him? Have we gone too soon? He may be idled a bit first, really, if you were being picky. Chairman's on a blinder for the Meads, of course. Who's the horse they've got going for the St Leger next Saturday? The one that just Zechariah,
Yeah.
of course.
1.27 first ruler's been done there. I thought actually would have went short. I think Ryan Moores gave the one in front of Peach for £750.
Keep watching that race back, guys. I mean, Double Cherry, there's a nice one in him, isn't he? Could he be an Ebor horse next year? Could this be the Ebor horse for Haggis next year? Graeme, you're loving watching this
I love
split,
this.
aren't you?
Yeah, he sived his way through the field, and I just thought, well, how far is he going to win this race by? And then you almost stole the race off me. You know, Ryan Moore was like, Ryan Moore had gone, and I was like, oh no, he's gone. You know, he's got away from me. But I think that horse is very good because he's just kept on very strongly. If you watch the race at Southall, he really powered through the line.
Yeah.
He powered through the line again there. Get further.
And he won't mind a bit of
12.5.
softer ground looking at that.
12.5.
Yeah, it went 12.5 run. I actually thought it would have went bigger because I think Ryan Moore nicked it from the front. I was expecting maybe 40s there, but yeah, £30 at 12.5 was the biggest the winner went there.
All right, okay, that's all we've got time for then on this Racing Post Live. It has been Betfair Day, Sprint Cup Day, Minzal scorched the turf there, but we've had a couple of winners between us. It's been quite good, isn't it? Kate, you are back a bit this month, aren't you?
Yeah, not next weekend, then the 2 weekends after that.
Yes,
Yeah.
culminating in
Back then.
Cambridgeshire Day. Great stuff. We'll see you then, Miss Tracey. G,
Yeah.
lovely stuff.
Yeah, good to be back. I'm back again next Saturday, so St Leger Day. It should be
you,
great.
Tom
shouldn't it?
Park joins us.
Tom Park, yeah.
Who's on New London big time for the St Leger.
Is he? Oh, well, I wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, the Mackham, and Marc Hryhoskyi, the drone pilot who knocked one out. Inverness was the big winner of the day.
Yeah, we had Inverness and we had Island Brave as well, had the sabre on that, so 2 winners. Yeah, it's been fun. Obviously made some profit for the charity, bit of crack. Just unfortunate, Halal didn't win, but I think that would have been
The jury remains out there. All right, great stuff. Great to have you with us. Same time, same place, next Saturday. You know the drill. Have a great week till then, guys.